Chapter 2553. That's enough. There's no one here. Let's talk here. Zhang Manlin looked at Jixin impatiently. You know why I'm here, don't you? Jixin looked at the face that resembled his sister's seriously. Are you kidding me? How would I know? I'm not a fortune teller. Young man, let's not waste time, okay? Just tell me. Zhang Manlin didn't want to waste time with Jixin, so her attitude was very harsh. Very well. Since you said so, I'll get straight to the point. You're the woman who appeared on the news with my brother-in-law today, right? So what if I am? Zhang Manlin asked provocatively. My sister likes to wear casual clothes, and she likes light yellow. What a coincidence, you like it too. There are plenty of people who wear the same clothes. Is that strange? It's not strange. But what's wrong with being a mistress and stealing someone else's husband at such a young age? Are you talking about me? Zhang Manlin sneered. Then am I talking about myself? Jixin's tone was very harsh. This woman was extremely arrogant. She didn't look like his sister at all. To say that she resembled his sister was an insult to his sister. You're a mistress just because you met President Qin for a meal. If that's the case, it only means that your sister and brother-in-law's relationship is very fragile and insecure. It's one thing for them to be in a good relationship, and another thing for others to interfere. Miss Zhang, you're still very young. You don't have to do something so despicable, right? So you're here to persuade me today. Zhang Manlin looked down and played with her fingers. She obviously didn't care about Jixin. You can think of it that way. What if I don't listen to you? Threaten me. Get someone to beat me up. Or throw money at me. Zhang Manlin looked at Jixin with a smile. Beat you up? No, I don't hit women. There's no need to threaten you. As for throwing money at you, you're overthinking it. I don't think you're that valuable. It was also the first time in Jixin's life that he had a verbal argument with a woman, and then indirectly scolded her. Zhang Manlin wasn't stupid. She could tell. It's not up to you to decide if I'm valuable or not. So you're here today to help your sister persuade me to back off. Jixin didn't speak, then you can go back. I have my own personality when it comes to doing things. I won't change my mind just because of what others say. If I want to do something, I will try my best to do it. If I don't want to do it, it's useless even if a knife is held to my neck. If that's the case, then pretend I didn't say anything. But let me give you a piece of advice. You're on your own, because past experiences have proven that anyone who goes against my sister usually ends up well. From Zhao Qingya to Song Yisher, Jian Tong, and Mo Shui, none of them are comparable to you. But so what? That's why, it's better for people to know their own limits. If you don't seek death, you won't die. Really? But I just like to court death. That's good, then you can die early and reincarnate early. After saying this, Jixin turned around and left. He didn't want to talk to her anymore. This woman clearly did it on purpose. She also did it on purpose to get close to his brother-in-law. However, brother-in-law still fell for it. This kid, he's really an idiot. Zhang Manlin looked at Jixin's back with disdain. Jixin met with Zhang Manlin in private. He didn't want his sister to know. So, when he left, he deliberately left through the back door. However, Huamin still found out. Jixin, stop. Huamin hurried out the door to catch up with his brother. Chapter 2554. Sis, why did you come out? The entire hospital knows you're here, how can I not know? The entire hospital knows. Is it that serious? Jixin scratched his head and continued to play dumb. When Jixin arrived, someone from the finance department saw him, and the news spread like wildfire while they were having lunch. It was impossible for Huamin not to know, so Huamin skipped lunch and hurried out. She happened to block Jixin at the door, and he didn't have time to leave. Jixin, you went to see Zhang Manlin. Yeah. Don't do that again. Why? Sis, are you really going to continue being a bun? Are you really going to let those bitches ride on your head? Jixin was a little angry. No, it's not like that. I'll take care of my own business. Don't get involved. Sis, I'm doing this for your own good. I know. Just do your job. I can take care of my own business. If you can really take care of it, you wouldn't have come back to live here in the middle of the night and left my nieces at home. Sis, tell me the truth, are you guys in a cold war? Why are you two in conflict? How did Zhang Manlin take advantage of the situation? Is it just because she's younger than you? Jixin asked angrily. Forget it, I don't want to talk about this. Anyway. Jixin, don't get involved in this. The more people get involved, the more complicated it gets. Sis, do you think I'm being a busybody? Huamin didn't wait for him to finish. Jixin continued, Sis, people nowadays don't care if things get out of hand. If you weren't my biological sister, I wouldn't care if you gave me money. But you're different. We grew up together and you've done so much for me and for this price. I really can't let anyone bully you, not even my brother-in-law. You've suffered a lot and I don't want you to suffer anymore. Jixin grabbed his sister's shoulder, his heart aching. He suddenly felt that she had lost a lot of weight recently and was a little fragile. Jixin, I understand your intentions. That's why I'll definitely stand on your side. If you continue to be stubborn, Bella and I have already discussed it. We'll resign and quit working at GK. Resign? No, don't mess around. Huamin firmly objected. You don't have to persuade me, I'm an adult now. I went to GK because it's my brother-in-law's company, and I thought we were family, so I could help him. But now, my brother-in-law is seeing another woman in the middle of the night and doesn't care about my sister's reputation. As a brother-in-law, I'm really a coward. I'm an adult, and I can find a job anywhere. I don't have to live under someone else's roof and suffer all this. Jixin, don't be impulsive. Your brother-in-law and I. It's not like what the media is saying. Maybe we've had some problems recently, but it's not to the point of a divorce. What marriage red light? It's just a publicity stunt. Other people might not know, but as a family member, don't blindly follow the trend, okay? Huamin couldn't directly tell Jixin that he and Qin Chu were acting, so he could only explain it in a roundabout way. However, Jixin's talent wasn't as high as Huamin's. The more his sister tried to explain, the more he felt that his sister was wronged. Sis, don't try to persuade me anymore. I've already made up my mind. After all, I already scolded Zhang Manlin today. For you, I'm willing to do anything. Okay, it's almost time for you to go to work. Are you still coming home tonight? No, I miss the kids. I'm going back to South Hill Manor tonight. Okay, call me if you need anything. Huamin nodded and watched Jixin drive away. The Bumblebee sports car was a gift from Qin Chu when Jixin was still on campus. He was a sentimental person, and he still drove it to this day. Dr. Hua, what are you thinking about? Lu Zhe appeared beside Huamin out of nowhere and asked gently with a slightly smile. Chapter 2555. It's nothing. Huamin put her hands in the pockets of her lab coat and lowered her head. Her black glasses covered her eyes. It was hard to tell what was on her mind. I saw the news. So? Huamin tilted her head and looked at him. I wanted to comfort you, but looking at you now, I don't think you need it. Why? Because you've always been a girl with a strong mind. You're not like those girls with princess syndrome, who are all pretentious and whine about nothing. You've overestimated me. I'm just an ordinary person. I trust my intuition, Lu Zhe said. Don't talk like we're close. I don't like this feeling. Huamin didn't give him any face. Then what kind of feeling do you like? Lu Zhe moved closer to Huamin's face. Huamin subconsciously took a few steps back. She didn't like to be in close contact with men other than Qin Chu, especially when it came to skin contact. Don't be afraid. I won't eat you. Lu Zhe continued to laugh. Dr. Lu, you really know how to joke. It's almost time for work. I'll go back to my office first. Huamin didn't want to waste more time with Lu Zhe. She turned around and was about to leave when Lu Zhe suddenly spoke. There's something I'm curious about. After he said this, Huamin stopped in her tracks. She didn't turn around, as if she was waiting for him to continue. I can't believe you're so nice to that dummy Wei Dong. What's so special about him? He's just a country bumpkin, a nouveau riche. Whenever he has some money, he wants to show off to the world that he's rich. When he's poor, he's no better than a beggar on the street. If you were nice to Han Su, I could understand. After all, he's the class president and he's good-looking. But you're so impatient with me, yet you're willing to give Wei Dong 5 million yuan without an IOU. Huamian, you're such a strange woman. If everyone wanted to understand me, then I wouldn't be Huamin. I'd be 10086. Plus, I'm not RMB. I can't make everyone like me. As for Wei Dong, I'm curious. How did you know about this? Wei Dong definitely wouldn't tell you. Also, if you want to know the reason, then I'll tell you. No matter how much Wei Dong shows off, he's still innocent. But you, even if you're rich, you don't have a good heart. Of course, I'd stay away from you. I'm not stupid, am I? How do you know I don't have a good heart? Huamin, did I do anything to hurt you? Lu Zhe said with a wronged expression. It's not that you didn't do it, it's that you didn't have the chance. I didn't give you the chance. Lu Zhe. I don't know why you came back to China, but I think you approached me with a purpose. So, don't pretend to be a thief. Don't compare yourself to Wei Dong. Wei Dong was my classmate for 3 years. You're just a transfer student. To be honest, if Han Su didn't mention you to me, I wouldn't know who you are. After that, Huamin turned around and left. Lu Zhe didn't feel good about it. This wasn't the first time Huamin had insulted him. Ha! It seems like the situation is more complicated than I expected. What a difficult woman to deal with, Lu Zhe muttered to himself. On the way back to the office, Huamin was still listening to her colleagues' comments. They all said that the meeting between her husband and Zhang Manlin last night was expected. To be honest, she wasn't sad at all. But, at this point, would Hua Xichen believe her? Thinking about this, Huamin felt that she needed to add fuel to the fire and make this show more realistic. So, after returning to the office, Huamin made a public Weibo post. There were only 8 simple words. She wrote. Chapter 2556. If you don't care about this life, you won't care about the next. Such simple and clear words, but they were like a stone that stirred up 1,000 ripples. Within half an hour, more than 50,000 people left comments on Huamin's Weibo. Huamian's true fans were heartbroken. Some of the comments in the front row said, Huamian, good luck, Dr. Hua. Mian, I haven't seen you post on Weibo in a while. I didn't think you'd post at a time like this. I'd rather believe that this isn't real. Goddess Hua, please explain. Tell us that this isn't real. Dr. Hua, are you and Mr. Qin okay? Something really happened between the two of you. Please don't. Otherwise, I'll never believe in love again. I always thought that the two of you would never break up. I can't believe it. If Mr. Qin really did something to hurt you, we won't forgive him. Mian, think about the twins. Don't be impulsive. Do you really not love them anymore? How could this be? I'm so sad. What a heartbreaking piece of news. Huamin's public post on Weibo was very thought-provoking. Many media outlets carefully interpreted these words in order to hype up the ratings and draw attention to themselves. That night, a famous live stream platform even invited the most famous relationship expert, Mr. G, to talk about this. Suyuk happened to be home for dinner. Lord Su was home, and so were his parents. It was rare for the family of four to gather together. Mrs. Su made some sweet soup and brought it to the table. Just then, the female host on the TV said in a serious tone, GK Corporation CEO, Mr. Qin Chu, and his wife, Miss Huamin, have both been exposed for cheating. This has attracted a lot of attention. Today, we've invited the master of horoscope analysis, Miss Xiaomin, to analyze what might happen next. Then, a middle-aged woman in her 30s began to talk about the storm between Qin Chu and Huamian. First of all, let's take a look. President Qin is a Scorpio, a very cold, black-bellied, and even a bit fickle. The man of this constellation is cold and indifferent, just like a Scorpion, and his wife is a fussy Virgo. To be honest, these two constellations are not very compatible because there are too many differences. Recently, Saturn happened to enter the Palace of Love, which made things worse for them. Based on the current situation, their marriage is indeed not very optimistic. Motherfucker, I hate these swindlers the most. Liars. Their words are also unpleasant to hear. Suyu couldn't take it anymore. He picked up the remote control and turned off the TV. Then, the atmosphere at the dining table was dead silent. You, go ahead, Grandpa. Suyu took big bites of his food and pretended not to care. What's going on between Huamian and Chu? How did the whole city know about it? Lord Su asked with a sigh. I'm not sure. I haven't been in contact with them recently. But from what I know, it's probably another media hype. I don't think it's that simple this time. Didn't you see Mian's Weibo post? Mrs. Su asked worriedly. Really? No, I didn't follow it, Siyuk said deliberately. You're acting a bit strange this time. Mr. Su looked at his son, a bit puzzled. Hey, what's strange about it? They're husband and wife. Even if they fight, they'll make up. As an outsider, it's not my place to interfere. Even an honest official can't solve a family dispute, let alone a friend like me. I don't want to worry about that. You guys should stay calm, okay? Suyu tried to persuade everyone. After a hurried dinner, Suyu found an excuse to drive to the Su mansion. After he came out, he immediately opened Weibo. Sure enough, Huamin's Weibo post became a trending topic. The words, "in this life, there's no need to talk about the next life," also went viral and was used by many netizens. Suyu thought for a moment and couldn't help but send Huamin a WeChat message. Mian, can you tell me what happened? Chapter 2557. We're fine, Huamian replied with a few words. How is that possible? Do you look fine? Qin Chu is in the headlines and you're on the hot search list. Huamin remained silent. I saw the post you just posted, Siyu said. Oh. Hua Mian gave a perfunctory oh. Hua Min, am I your friend? Suyu asked in all seriousness. Of course. Then can you tell me what happened? I want to help you. We. Hua Min didn't know what to say. She really wanted to tell Suyu that he didn't need to worry about them and that they were just acting. However, Qin Chu said that no one other than the two of them could know about this. She didn't know if Hua Xiqian had installed a listening device on Suyu's side. If she wasn't careful, all her efforts would be in vain. Therefore, Hua Min hesitated and didn't know what to say. She didn't want to drag Suyu into this, but she couldn't avoid it. He cared too much about her feelings and emotions, including the post she purposely showed to Hua Xiqian. Suyu saw it and his heart ached for her. Let me ask you, did Qin Chu really cheat on you this time? He didn't cheat on you, it's not that complicated. But Qin Chu did meet that woman named Zhang Manlin, Hua Min replied. Zhang Manlin. I knew that nothing good would come out of that woman's appearance. Suyu thought back to everything that had happened recently and felt that something was wrong. But, to be honest, Zhang Manlin looks a lot like me when I was younger. Even Jixin has the same impression, so I can understand why Qin Chu feels differently towards her. Hua Min said slowly. Understand my ass. Hua Min, are you out of your mind? You can understand anything else, but you don't need to understand this. This is something that will destroy your worldview. Let's not talk about whether Zhang Manlin looks like you when you were a young girl. I've never seen you when you were a young girl. But even if you look like her, so what? After all, she's not your real self. Just like Li Kuei and Li Gui, how can they be the same person? In the entertainment industry, there are always people who look the same, but no matter who you imitate, the imitator will never become famous. I know this the best. Zhang Manlin only looks a little like you. How can a shallow woman like her compare to you? Suyu seemed a little agitated. After a series of questions, Hua Min was silent for a moment and was about to speak. Suyu continued, Hua Min, where's that overbearing and arrogant aura of yours from before? You shouldn't be such an unconfident woman. Suyu, I'm scared too. I think what if I'm no longer Qin Chu's only one? What if he really doesn't care about me anymore? What should I do in the future? After all, he's the only thing that keeps me happy in my life. Hua Min sounded very sad when she said this. Suyu felt a faint pain in his heart. He didn't know if it was for Hua Min or for himself. I don't think Qin Chu is such a weak person. Maybe there's another reason. Have you guys talked about it? We did, but in the end, we parted on bad terms. I don't want to talk about it anymore. So the Cold War between you guys is real. It's also real that you went back to your mother's house, right? Suyu confirmed what Tang Chuan said before. Chapter 2558. Yeah. Hua Min admitted it. So that's how it is. I guess I underestimated you. Suyu, I'm fine. Don't worry. Bullshit. How can I not worry when you're like this? Suyu rarely got mad at Hua Min, but this was a different story. Hua Min, let me ask you, is the problem with Zhang Manlin? If we get rid of her, the problem will be solved. What do you want to do? Suyu, don't do anything rash. Hua Min was scared. Why did Suyu's words sound so scary? What do I want to do? Of course I want to help my friend. Also, I'll talk to Qin Chu when I have the chance. Don't be sad. You should go home for the next few days. Otherwise, the kids will miss you. Okay, I'll go back to South Hill Manor today. Okay. Suyu, don't mess with Zhang Manlin. I'm afraid things will backfire. If that happens, Chin Chu will think that I told you to do it, and the misunderstanding will get worse. I won't be that reckless. Let's see how it goes. Okay. After talking to Su Yu on the phone, Min felt guilty and blamed himself. They put on an act, but in the end, they still dragged the innocent Su Yu into it. At this time, they couldn't say it out loud. Corporation headquarters, Xichen put down his earphones. After listening to Su Yu and Min's conversation, he fell into deep thought again. Listening to their conversation, Mian did have a fight with Chin Chu and was troubled. Su Yu was also worried, but was Mian putting on an act or was it real? Xichen was a paranoid person to begin with, so he kept thinking about it even when Zhang Manlin told him about Chin Chu's real reaction. Even though there were spies in South Hill Manor monitoring Min and Chin Chu's every move, he was still worried. After all, this was his final gamble. He had even taken out the trump card that he had been nurturing for 5 years. If he lost this time, there would be no way for him to make a comeback, boss. Ching, any news from Ian? Yes, Master Ian has returned to Pakistan. It is said that an important arms deal has been disrupted. Alright, it's better to keep him busy so that he won't keep staring at me. Sir, what will happen to Ian after you take Miss Hu away? Will he let you go so easily? That's not a problem. As long as you're willing to leave with me, I can take care of everything else, Xichen said confidently. When Min came home from work, Little Bean threw herself at him and burst into tears as soon as he walked in. Little Bean, what's wrong? Don't scare Mommy. Min panicked. He put down his bag and picked up the chubby Little Bean. Mommy, what took you so long? I missed you so much. Why did you leave me and Sis behind when you quarreled with Daddy? We really didn't want to be your scapegoat. Mommy was wrong. I won't do it again. Where's Sis? Min looked around and saw that Pudding wasn't home. Sis was sent to Auntie Xiao Wei's house by the driver. She went to see Wei Yunchu. Then why didn't you go? Mommy, you're confused. If I wanted to go, I would go to Auntie Lingling's house. Gao Buiyuan is my cup of tea. Min, kids nowadays. Min was both angry and amused by his daughter's words. Wei Manor, Pudding, what's going on with your mommy and daddy? Jiang Xiaowei asked casually as she added more food for Pudding. Chapter 2559. Ahem. Mom, it's rare for Pudding to come to our house for dinner. Can you not spoil the mood? Before Pudding could reply, Wei Yunchu couldn't take it anymore and rolled his eyes at Jiang Xiaowei. Ha, honey. Look, our son is criticizing you. You're so smart, you shouldn't make such a stupid mistake. Eat your food and shut up. Jiang Xiaowei glared at Wei Liao. Uncle Wei, Auntie Xiaowei, actually, my daddy and mommy, Pudding, let's not talk about this. Let's eat. Don't mind them. They love to gossip. It's boring. Wei Yunchu obviously cared about his wife and didn't want his parents to get involved. He also didn't want Pudding to talk about it. Then, Wei Yunchu picked up an Argentinian prawn and put it in Pudding's bowl. You like seafood. Eat more. It's fresh. My grandma sent someone to deliver it to me today. I told her that you're coming to our house for dinner. She took it very seriously. If she didn't go to a relative's birthday party with my grandpa, they would have come today. You don't have to be so formal. I'm just bored at home, so I came out to get some fresh air, Pudding explained in a low voice. Pudding, you should come often. My son likes you a lot. After Wei Liao said this, he gave his son a look. He meant, kid, this is all I can do for you. Okay, I'll come often. Pudding didn't hesitate and ate her food elegantly. Wei Yunchu was much more enthusiastic than usual because of Pudding's arrival. After dinner, Jiang Shaowei cut some fruits for the two kids. Wei Liao had something to do and drove out. The TV was playing the gossip between Huamin and Qin Chu. Wei Yunchu immediately picked up the remote control and turned it off. He didn't want Pudding to feel uncomfortable. Pudding, on the other hand, was very calm. Compared to Little Bean, she was really unfazed. Pudding, what are you thinking about? Wei Yunchu saw that she was spacing out. Yunchu, I want ice cream. Sure, I have a lot in my fridge. Wei Yunchu jumped off the sofa and was about to get it. Pudding continued, I see that you have an ice cream machine in your kitchen. Can you make one for me? It's good, but I don't know how to use that machine. Auntie and Mommy usually use it a lot. Then help me make the milk and vanilla first. Stir it for a while, and then let Auntie Shaowei make it for us, okay? No problem. I'll go now. Thank you for your hard work. Pudding smiled slightly. Wei Yunchu suddenly felt motivated to do anything. He rushed into the kitchen hot-bloodedly. At this time, Jiang Shaowei walked out of the bathroom. Auntie Shaowei, please have a seat. Let's talk about my daddy and mommy. It's okay, I was just asking. Don't take it as a burden. Jiang Shaowei walked over with a smile while drying her hair. It's okay. I didn't really care about it. Yunchu was just worried that I would be sad, so he took it too seriously. So you sent him away so that you could talk to me alone. Jiang Shaowei glanced at her silly child who was busy in the kitchen and guessed with a smile. Yeah. Pudding nodded heavily. Then tell Auntie. I didn't take it seriously at first and didn't ask what happened to your mommy. But with all the commotion, I'm a little worried. Jiang Shaowei and Huamin weren't friends who messaged each other on WeChat every day, but they were still very close. Because of their busy jobs, sometimes they wouldn't see each other for 10 days or half a month. However, it didn't mean that they didn't care about each other. Chapter 2560. The truth is. I don't really understand what happened, Pudding said calmly. Jiang Shaowei didn't know what to say. But I don't think it's like what the media said. I know my daddy, he really loves my mommy. He won't divorce her. Of course. I think so too. Jiang Shaowei nodded. I think, they seem to have something that they can't talk about. It's like this, something that they can't talk about. What could it be? What could make them like this? Jiang Shaowei was also suspicious. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm still not as smart as Daddy and Mommy. I'm still a kid, and they won't tell me everything, but I don't think they'll have any problems. Maybe this is just a necessary transition, so Auntie Shaowei, you don't have to worry. It's best if you don't ask Mommy. If she really has something on her mind, you don't have to ask. She'll definitely tell you. After all, she's only had you and Auntie Lingling as her best friends for more than 20 years. Smart girl, that's what I thought too. That's why. I didn't ask her anything even after such a big commotion. I just happened to see you today, so I asked her, yeah. That's about it. When it's over, I think my mommy will explain it to everyone. As for now, I won't ask anything. I'll just wait for the result. You and Little Bean are completely different, Jiang Shaowei exclaimed. At the same time, she gave Pudding 32 likes in her heart. Little Bean was only 3 years old, but she could stay calm in the face of danger. She could even analyze things calmly. This kid's IQ was unbelievable. If Yunchu could marry Pudding in the future, he would be so lucky. Of course they're different. In fact, my little sister isn't stupid. She's just lazy. She doesn't want to do anything, think about it, or analyze it. She's always relying on me, mommy, and daddy. Otherwise, when she's alone, she's very smart. That's for sure. The Dragon King's son can float. Ha! Your daddy and mommy have such strong genes, how can they give birth to an idiot? You and Little Bean. Everyone says that you don't need to go to kindergarten. I don't think the kindergarten teachers are as good as you. They can't teach you. My mommy thinks so too, so the two of us have always been left behind. Ha ha ha. If you're left behind children, then you must be the richest left behind children in the country. Pudding, I heard that you also trade stocks. Yes, I played with it for a while. How is it? I made a small profit. Pudding said humbly. I want to know, how much is your so-called small profit? Is it convenient for you to tell me? Jiang Xiaowei was very interested in her future daughter-in-law. Not much, just tens of millions. Pfft. Jiang Xiaowei almost spat out a mouthful of tea. Not much. Tens of millions. Pudding. Is it really okay for you to do this? Mommy, what are you gossiping about? Didn't I tell you not to ask about that? Wei Yunchu came out of the kitchen and saw his mommy chatting with Pudding. He was so scared that he immediately pulled his mommy away, afraid that she would make Pudding unhappy. You little brat, you're the classic example of forgetting your mommy when you have a wife. Do you think it's easy for me to raise you? Jiang Xiaowei teased her son. Chapter 2561. Ms. Jiang Xiaowei, you've only raised me for 4 years. Don't make it sound so hard, okay? Jiang Xiaowei was speechless. Ha ha ha. Pudding laughed out loud, which was rare. Wei Yunchu, the aloof Mr. Perfect, insulted his mother in front of his future wife. What a joke. Pudding had a great dinner at the Wei family's house. When they went back, Jiang Xiaowei drove them home. After chatting with Huamin for a while, they left. Jiang Xiaowei didn't mention a word about the news, which made Huamin less worried. Oh, someone's finally back. You didn't stay at your mother-in-law's house. Little Bean stretched her neck and teased her sister. Do you think I'm as stupid as you? Why would I stay? Pudding said proudly. So, what did your mother-in-law cook for you? Little Bean asked. Fresh seafood. What do you think? I'm so jealous. We're sisters, and you didn't pack anything for me when you went out to eat. I waited for you for so long for nothing. With your figure, you should lose some weight. Don't just eat. Otherwise, even Gao Buiyuan won't want you. You're so mean. Little Bean puffed up her cheeks in anger. Pudding, how was it? Was Auntie Xiaowei's house fun? Huamin asked with a smile. He seemed to want to please his daughter. After all, her mother did sneak back to her mother's house and left her daughter at home. It was fun. Are you full? Do you want some fruit or something? Mommy bought you some fresh strawberries and lychees. Huamin continued to please. Mommy, just say what you want to say. You don't have to play tricks with me. Huamin was speechless. Ha ha ha, sis, you're so fierce. You even dared to talk back to mommy. Don't call yourself Qin Zhao Zhao anymore. Just call yourself Qin Zhao Zhao. Oh, I just wanted to ask if Auntie Xiaowei and the others asked you anything, like, the things they said on the news. Huamian said vaguely. Mommy, are you talking about the news about you and Daddy getting a divorce? Yeah. Huami knew that his daughter was smart and couldn't hide anything from her, so he had to admit it. They didn't ask and they didn't say anything. Oh, that's good. Huamian let out a sigh of relief. So, Mommy, are you really going to divorce Daddy? Pudding asked. Before Huamin could say anything, Little Bean held on to Huamin's hand with a sad face. Mommy, don't divorce. If we get a divorce, what will happen to us? If we follow you, we'll have to leave Daddy. If we follow Daddy, we'll have to leave you. If one of us follows Daddy and the other follows Mommy, we'll be separated. Can't we just have fun? Why would we get a divorce? Little Bean's words almost made Huamian laugh out loud. This little girl always had a wild imagination and was always full of ideas. No, Mommy and Daddy won't get a divorce. The media just made it up. Don't believe what's on TV, okay? Huamin patted his daughters' heads and comforted them. Mommy, will you stay at home today? Little Bean hugged her mommy's leg tightly and looked up pitifully. Of course. Mommy won't leave. Mommy was too impulsive yesterday. Huamin looked at his daughters with heartache. Just then, the living room door opened and Chin Chu came back. Chapter 2562. Daddy, you're back. Look, Mommy's back. Little Bean made a peace sign with her hands, looking very happy. The moment Chin Chu saw Huamin, his eyes were as gentle as water, but they quickly turned cold. You're back. He pretended to be cold. Yeah. Huamin nodded. Pudding, take your sister upstairs. Your mommy and I need to talk in private. Okay. Pudding was very obedient and turned to go upstairs. When Little Bean went upstairs, she didn't forget to turn around and remind them, don't fight, or I won't love you anymore. After the twins went upstairs, Chin Chu glanced at Huamin. You saw the news? He asked. How could I not see such a big commotion? Huamin asked back. Then what did you mean by that sentence on Weibo? Whatever you think it means what it means. You misunderstood. Zhang Manlin and I did meet, but it wasn't an appointment. It was a chance encounter, Chin Chu explained without sincerity. I'm sorry, life isn't a novel. I don't believe in chance encounters. So you don't believe me no matter what? Chin Chu frowned slightly. You don't believe me either, right? That night when you saw Lu Zhe bring me dinner, your face was also very ugly. Why can't it be my turn now? Huamin provoked. So, Mian, are you trying to get back at me? Not really, but don't think that you're right and others are wrong, Huamin said vaguely. Just like that, the husband and wife exchanged sarcastic remarks one after another. At the kitchen door, a young maid was brushing her ears and listening. Kaiwe, what are you doing? What are you listening to? Another maid asked as she wiped the kitchen equipment. Shoo, don't quarrel. Sir and Madam seem to be quarreling again. I've been working here for almost a year. Even though Mr. Chin doesn't like to talk, he loves Mrs. Chin a lot. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's always fighting with Mrs. Chin. It's so annoying. Even Little Bean and Pudding are angry with him. I really don't understand these rich people. They have so much money and have no worries. Why are they still fighting? They don't even know how to live a good life, another maid said. Don't talk. Let me hear what they are saying. I say. Caillou, you've only been here for less than 3 months. You haven't passed the probation period yet. Let me tell you, South Hill Manor is very strict here. Uncle Lee doesn't like us, the servants, to meddle in the private affairs of the masters. In the past, there was a big sister who was very talkative and exposed some things about our masters to the media. As a result, she was fired by Uncle Lee, I know. I'm just curious to see how rich people quarrel. I don't mean anything else. The maid named Kai Yut said in a low voice. Then, like a thief, he leaned against the crack of the door and watched the conversation between Chin Chu and Huamin. Mian, is it fun for the two of us to be like this? It's not fun. But what else can we do? Huamin crossed his arms in front of his chest. Forget it. I'm not going to talk about this with you. I'm tired. I'm going upstairs. After speaking, Chin Chu loosened his tie rudely and walked upstairs. Hey, stop. I'm not done yet. Huamin said as he followed him upstairs. Only then did the maid named Kai Yut slowly close the kitchen door. After Chin Chu went upstairs, he went straight into the study. Huamin followed behind him. However, as soon as she entered the room, before she could even stand still, Mr. Chin pressed her against the wall. Then, before she could say anything, he kissed her. Chapter 2563. Huamin hadn't been this close to Mr. Chin in days. Therefore, she shyly reached out her hands and tightly hugged Mr. Chin's waist. She knew that they were able to do this in the study because there was an anti-tracking bug in the study, so Hua Xichen wouldn't be able to hear it. After a long kiss, Mr. Chin seemed to want more. She didn't know if it was because he was in a daze or because he couldn't control himself. A pair of warm hands slid down her body. Honey, you don't want to? Chin Chu's voice was a little hoarse. She could tell from his voice that the self-control he was so proud of was about to disappear. No. Huamin was a little shy. Don't worry, no one in the study will know. Chin Chu thought she was worried about the bug. That's not the reason. Huamin stuttered. Then what is it? I'm afraid that all of our acting will go to waste. Although the bug won't leak, there are spies in the house. I'm afraid that they'll hear us, Huamin stuttered. Then can you not scream so loudly? Chin Chu teased her on purpose. You. Mr. Chin, don't you think you're being too shameless? Do you want me to mute the phone? Too bad I'm not a cell phone. Huamin pouted in dissatisfaction. Seeing his wife like this, Chin Chu hugged her lovingly. Maybe it was because she was too light, but when Chin Chu lifted her up, her entire weight was on Chin Chu. Honey, don't, hold it in. Huamin thought Chin Chu couldn't hold it in anymore. Don't worry, I won't do it. I just want to hug you. I miss you so much. After saying that, Chin Chu put his chin on Huamin's shoulder and greedily sniffed the unique fragrance of her body. During this period of time, the two of them were really tortured. The two people who were originally as loving as before now had to pretend to be cold and quarrel from time to time and make sarcastic remarks. It was as torturous as it could get, however, they all knew that this was a necessary process. If they didn't do this, perhaps Hua Xichen would beat them to it and do something even more extreme. Huamin, give me a little more time, it won't be long. Feeling guilty, Chin Chu rubbed the tip of his nose against Huamin's fragrant cheek. I know. I have a premonition this time. Chin Chu said. What premonition? Huamin was slightly startled. I think that this is Hua Xichen's last struggle. This time, whether it's him or us, we're all going to give it our all. If one of us is scared, we'll lose everything. Will you be scared? Huamin asked with a smile. What do you think? Mr. Chin made an extremely provocative gesture. He reached out his finger and lifted Huamin's chin. I think, my Mr. Chin won't be scared. Even if the sky falls, you'll hold it up for us. You're such a strong person. For me and our daughters, you're already risking your life to fight. Huamin sighed slightly. You know me the best, but I'm not as good as you say. I haven't done enough for you. Compared to you, I'm still a lot worse. Qin Chu said with a bit of guilt. Huamin knew that in Qin Chu's heart, Qin Chu wasn't by her side when she was pregnant and gave birth to the twins. This had become a knot in his heart. Every time he thought about it, he felt ashamed. Honey, yeah. Qin Chu looked up at Huamin. Don't be sad. When we have a second baby, you'll be able to make it up to me, right? Huamin pursed his lips and smiled. So honey, you're pregnant. Perhaps Qin Chu was too sensitive. He felt that Huamin deliberately brought up this topic today. Was there a hidden meaning? Chapter 2564. Nope, why do you ask? I just think it's weird. Hey, don't be weird. Okay, put me down. If someone sees us here for so long, they'll be suspicious. Qin Chu slowly put Huamin down. Should we pretend to quarrel again? No need. Qin Chu really didn't want to fight with her anymore, even if it was just for show. Then I'll go out first. Okay. At the door, Huamin suddenly turned around. When you see Zhang Manlin, remember to keep your distance. Honey, are you jealous? Qin Chu looked at her, amused. Of course, if I find out about those intimate photos, I'll break your legs. I'm so scared. Qin Chu looked at her with a half-smile. Okay, go do your work and rest early. Are you sleeping in the study tonight? Huamin asked. Qin Chu nodded. When Huamin came out of the study, he saw the maid named Caillou wiping the handrail on the second floor with a rag. She had her head down and looked very serious. Huamin's face immediately turned cold. When he walked past her, he deliberately muttered, I can't live like this. If it weren't for the two kids, I wouldn't have to endure so much. I'm so angry. Caillou listened carefully and memorized it in her heart. In the master bedroom, in the bathroom, Huamin held the pregnancy test kit and suppressed her surprise. She knew it was going to be like this, but she almost let it slip in the study. If Mr. Qin knew she was pregnant, he wouldn't be able to bear it. He definitely wouldn't have the heart to continue with the plan. When that time came, everything he had done before would have been in vain. He would protect her like a panda. She didn't want that. She was never a flower in a greenhouse and didn't need to hide behind Mr. Qin. She wanted to stand by his side and face all the storms with him. No matter how difficult it was, she wouldn't be afraid. Husband and wife, husband and wife. Since they were married, they would stay together for the rest of their lives. They would face all the glory, splendor, wealth, and poverty together. Huamin's hand that was holding the pregnancy test was shaking slightly. Her other hand gently touched her lower abdomen. There was another little life here. It was so magical. The little brother or sister that Pudding and Little Bean had been looking forward to was really here this time. Counting the days, it should have happened after the two of them slept together more than a month ago. After her mother had reminded her that day, she had taken note of it in her heart, but she did not let anyone know. The fewer people who knew about the current situation, the better. She didn't even tell Mr. Qin. She wanted to wait until Huasiqian was dead. Let's announce this news in front of the whole family. Baby, you have to protect mommy. Let mommy and daddy get rid of those bad people who want to separate us. Our family will never be separated again. Huamin gently touched her lower abdomen and said to the little life that was just a month old. Because of the early pregnancy, there might be some reactions. Therefore, Huamin decided to be extra careful with her diet so that no one would be suspicious. Huamin was the only one who slept in the master bedroom because she pretended to be in a cold war with Qin Chu. Late at night, she was sleeping soundly when she seemed to hear a strange sound. She wanted to open her eyes, but she couldn't. She didn't know if it was a dream or reality. Mian. Soon, very soon, we will be able to leave this place. Let's start over and forget the past, okay? Beside the bed, a man in a black coat held her wrist and said word by word. Chapter 2565. Who is it? Huamin used all the strength in her body to sit up in bed. When she opened her eyes, she found that the bedroom was empty. Huff, huff. Huamian panted heavily, her heart racing. She calmed down, walked to the floor, and took a big gulp of water. Why was she having this dream again? She felt like there was someone else at home, but she couldn't see that person's face clearly. It was an inexplicable fear, as if the fear in her heart was infinitely magnified. Huamin sat on the windowsill, looked out the window, and calmed down a lot. The night view at South Hill Manor was beautiful. Qin Chu designed this place for her and the children. Therefore, it was built like a children's playground. At night, neon lights flashed, and it was very romantic. Especially that night, when the Ferris wheel emitted a 7-colored light, it made people feel relaxed to the extreme. Huamin really wanted to run to the study to find Qin Chu, but she hesitated when she thought of the spy in the house. Was Siqian spy? She wanted to find a cigarette, but she thought of the new life in her stomach, so, in the end, she suppressed the urge. In the end, she took out her phone and played a song. Yang Zhongwei and Zhang Baikan's voices slowly sounded. The night is getting colder, the flowers fall to the ground and turn into frost. You look from afar, exhausting all the twilight. If you don't think, you won't forget. Huamin didn't sleep well that night. When she woke up in the morning, she had dark circles under her eyes. It was the weekend, so Huamin could get up a little late. When she went downstairs, it was already 7:30 a.m. The twins were still asleep, but her in-laws were already in the living room. Mian, you're awake? Mama Qin asked. Yeah. Do you have a day off today? Yes. The kitchen heated up breakfast for you, eat it while it's hot. Thank you, Mom. Huamin looked at her mother-in-law gratefully. I'll bring it out for you. No need, no need. I'll do it myself. Please take a rest. Huamin rushed into the kitchen. However, her mother-in-law still followed them in. Seeing that there was no one in the kitchen, Mama Qin tugged on Huamin's sleeve. Mian, mother, what's wrong? Did you quarrel with Chu again? Mama Qin looked at her daughter-in-law worriedly. We just had an argument. It's not an argument. Mom, don't worry. Your dad and I have been feeling that there's something wrong with the two of you. Last night, you were arguing in the study, and all the servants at home heard it. Uncle Li and your dad talked about it when they were playing chess. Later that night, your dad brought a teapot to the study to talk to Chu. After all, he's our kid, so we know a little about him. Huamin lowered his head and poured milk. He listened to his mother-in-law's words and didn't interrupt. Chu's been under a lot of pressure at work recently. Plus, you know that he's always been a quiet person and doesn't like to talk much. Those unscrupulous media outlets want to break up families, but what they say might not be true. I'm not trying to clear my name, but I really hope that you can understand Chu. I know, Mom. I'm not an insensible person. But in other words, even though he's my son, I won't forgive him if he does something wrong. Last night, when your dad talked to him, he told him that if he messes around outside and causes trouble, GK will be handed over to you. Then, we'll take Little Bean and Pudding with us, and he can go wherever he wants. As long as I'm alive, I won't let you guys get a divorce. Mama Chin expressed her determination. Chapter 2566. To be honest, Huamin's heart was warmed by his mother-in-law's attitude. His parents-in-law were old, and they weren't scheming, so they didn't know that the couple was acting. Therefore, it was inevitable that they would be worried. No matter how much his mother-in-law misunderstood him in the past, she didn't mention the past anymore. She was a completely different person from before. Mom, thank you, and Dad. Huamin was touched. Don't mention it. This is what we should do. Although Chu is our biological son, we won't spoil him or let him do whatever he wants. Look at that kid from the Shin family. He used to be a good kid, but after he got involved with that girl, Hui Yan, he caused so much trouble. We won't allow something like this to happen to our family. Your father still has some authority in Chu's heart, so of course he has to take us into consideration. Your father said, Mian, you shouldered so much pressure all those years and gave birth to 2 little princesses for the Qin family. That's a huge favor to the Qin family. We won't do anything to hurt you for the rest of our lives. Okay, I understand. Huamin bit her lip. If the timing wasn't right, she really wanted to tell her mother-in-law that she was pregnant with a second child. She wondered how happy her parents-in-law would be when they heard about it. Not to mention the gender of the baby, just the addition of a new life was a new expectation for this family. After breakfast, Huamin helped the twins tidy up their wardrobes. Then, she took her daughters out to play. Mommy, why are you in such a good mood today? Little Bean asked from the back seat. Because there wasn't enough space in the sports car, Huamin drove an Audi A8L from the garage. It was black and very classy, low-key and luxurious. The twins wore red checkered capes, black skirts, and red boots. They looked very cute. Mommy is off today. I haven't taken you out in a long time. So, Mommy, where are we going now? Little Bean asked as she played a game on her tablet. What do you two have in mind? Huamin asked as he drove. Shall we go to Imperial Star? Little Bean suggested excitedly. Then why don't you just say that you're going to find Uncle Sue? Huamin couldn't help laughing. Yeah, handsome Sue has been so busy lately that he doesn't even pay attention to us. He doesn't even have time to pick us up. I wonder if he's hitting on girls. Little Bean rested her chin on her hands and thought. Ha, don't talk nonsense. Huamin laughed. From what I know about handsome Sue, he won't, Pudding replied calmly. Why? I'm not telling you, pig brain. Think about it yourself. Pudding glanced at her sister. Mommy, look at big sis. She's calling him a pig brain again, Little Bean complained. Can't you be a little smarter? Huamin was amused. Then you're to blame. Why didn't you make me smarter when you gave birth to me? So, you want to blame me? Huamin felt wronged. Okay, let's stop fooling around. Mommy, let's go to Imperial Star, okay? I miss handsome Sue. Little Bean said. Do you miss handsome Sue? Or do you want to trick him into taking you to eat Haagen-Dazs? Huamin asked. Ha ha ha, you guessed it. Mommy, you're so smart. Little Bean laughed evilly. Huamin, Mommy, ignore the foodie. Let's go to Nantian Hot Springs, Pudding said. No, I want to go to Imperial Star. I don't want to go to the hot springs. Obviously, the two sisters were having an argument. At this moment, Huamin couldn't help either of them. So, she had an idea and said, You two, rock, paper, scissors. Let's decide the winner in one round. Chapter 2567. Pudding, good idea. Little Bean, come on, I'm not scared of you. Pudding, Chin Moo Moo, listen carefully. Mommy said that the winner will be decided in one round. If you lose, don't tell me that it's a best of 3. Little Bean, don't worry, I'm a man of my word. Pudding, the problem is, you've never been a man of honor. How can I trust you? Little Bean, do you still want to play? Can you stop wasting time? 3, 2, 1, rock, paper, scissors, the sisters said in unison. Pudding said paper while Little Bean said rock. You lost, Mommy. Nantian Hot Springs, thank you. Pudding sat back down and continued playing. Mommy, why do I always lose? Little Bean said with a sad face. It's your fault for always playing rock. Can't you change it? Huamin looked at Little Bean through the rearview mirror. I didn't know Pudding was so crazy. She's been playing paper for thousands of years. I thought she'd change it this time. Little Bean pouted. So, your sister knew what you were thinking. That's why she played paper again, Huamin explained. Okay. We're all smart people. I can't win against you. I admit defeat. Little Bean crossed her arms and looked out the car window angrily. Do you really want to see Uncle Sue that much? Huamin felt bad for his daughter. Of course. I'm not as heartless as my sister. I've been with Wei Yunchu recently, so I don't love handsome Sue anymore, Little Bean said deliberately. Stop it. I don't want to go to Imperial Star because I don't want to disturb handsome Sue at work. It's not that I don't miss him. The two of them argued back and forth, giving Huamian a headache. In the end, she listened to her eldest daughter and drove to Nantian Hot Springs. Nantian Hot Springs was developed by the Wei family. Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Yunchu also liked to come here. When Huamin arrived, she sent Jiang Xiaowei a WeChat message. Unfortunately, she was working overtime today and Wei Yunchu went to his grandmother's house, so she didn't come. As for Zhu Lingling's family of 3, it was said that Gao Ran had gone to the Maldives on annual leave. Huamin and her 2 daughters changed into swimsuits and went down to soak in a rose bath. Huamin stood up again and walked to the service center. He wanted to ask the service staff to adjust the temperature of the water. However, he did not expect to meet an acquaintance here. Dr. Hua. You. Huamin was surprised to see Jiang Yi. If she remembered correctly, he had already returned to the capital. She hadn't seen him for a long time after Mo Shui's death. What a coincidence, you're here too. Jiang Yi was wearing a white bathrobe with a can of Coke in his hand. Yes, my daughters like it. It's the weekend, so I brought them here to play. Your husband didn't come? Jiang Yi asked with a smile. He's working overtime today, so he went to work. Is he really working overtime? There's been a lot of news about you guys recently, even I heard about it in the capital. Jiang Yi said. That's what the news is all about. You're in the industry, so you should know that they love to create topics that are half true and half false, Huamin said perfunctorily. I haven't seen you in a while, let's have a drink, Jiang Yi invited. I can't drink alcohol, Huamin immediately refused. Not alcohol, my Dr. Hua, I'm talking about tea. I also have something to ask you. Huamin hesitated for a moment and then nodded. Okay. Not far away, someone was secretly taking photos with a camera. Huamin had already noticed the person in the corner, or else he wouldn't have agreed to have tea with Jiang Yi. Hua Xiqian, I'll let you see whatever you want to see. Chapter 2568. Little Bean, sis, look. Look. Pudding, what? Little Bean, Something's happening. Pudding, what's happening? Little Bean, a man wants to hit on our mom. Pudding, Little Bean, seriously, I'm not joking. Look over there. Hearing her sister's words, Pudding turned her head and looked over. Her face was expressionless. Little Bean, see. Pudding, as the vice director of Southside, Mommy must know a lot of people. With her personality, she wouldn't hit on strangers. He's probably a friend. Little Bean, but didn't you see the perverted look in that man's eyes when he saw Mommy? Pudding, no. Little Bean, humph, then you're stupid. Little Bean secretly took out her phone from the plastic phone case and took a photo. What? You want to send it to Daddy? Don't you think they're fighting enough? Pudding glanced at her sister. Am I that stupid? I don't dare to send it to Daddy. I'm sending it to Handsome Sue. I promise he'll come to rescue you in less than half an hour. Then, Little Bean sent the photo to Sue Yu. In the photo, Huamin and Jiang Yi were both side profiles. Handsome Sue, someone wants to hit on my mom. Come to help. Nantian Hot Springs. Little Bean thought that was enough. At the headquarters of Imperial Star, Sue Yu had just finished a meeting. Before he walked back to his office, he received a WeChat message from Little Bean. Ahem. He coughed violently when he saw the message. President Sue, what's wrong? And, do you have anything else to do in the afternoon? There's a planning conference in the afternoon that requires your final decision. Also, you're going to have dinner with President Liu of Fooding. Oh, postpone it for me. Are you going out? Yeah, I'm going out for a bit. Sue Yu didn't even go back to his office. Instead, he stuffed the documents into Anne's hands and left. He got into his black Lamborghini and drove straight to Nantian Hot Springs. At the hot springs, Jiang Yi ordered a pot of Longjing tea and poured a cup for Huamin. Thank you. You don't look good lately. Jiang Yi said. Huamin was about to speak when he felt nauseous. She covered her mouth. What's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Jiang Yi asked nervously. I'm fine. I just caught a cold in my stomach recently. I'm not feeling well. Huamin waved his hand. You. Aren't you a doctor yourself? No, you're the vice director of the hospital now. Why can't you fix such a small problem? Jiang Yi laughed. What do you know? We're doctors, so we know that antibiotics can't be taken casually. If you eat too much, you'll develop resistance, and the bacteria will mutate easily. Okay. Whatever you say is right. Didn't you return to the capital? Why are you back? Huamin had been very cautious recently. Whenever a suspicious person appeared around her, she would wonder if they were sent by Hua Xiqin. It was as if every bush and tree was an enemy. I got a movie recently and one of the producers is Imperial Star. The director and I came here to take a look. Imperial Star also hired an actress. You should know her. She's Nie Lingxian, the popular actress. Oh, I know her. Huamin heard that it was a movie that Jiang Yi and Cici's sister were working on together. How have you been? Jiang Yi asked. Didn't you see everything? Huamin lowered his head and sipped his tea. So, you've really been involved with a third party? Or was it an imposter who looked like you? Jiang Yi asked with a half-smile. Chapter 2569. Imitations that look alike. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he heard this comment. That's what I think. You two are like a seller and a seller on a show. Ha. For the first time, Huamin was amused by Jiang Ye's humor. In the past, she used to think that this man was always lecherous, so she had some resistance and disgust towards him. After interacting with him for a while, Min realized that Jiang Yi wasn't a bad person. Sometimes, he even had a little humor in his words. "This is the first time I've seen you smile so brightly at me. I'm really flattered." Jiang Yi was in a good mood. "Mr. Jiang, don't joke around. You're such a big shot with countless fans. I'm just a normal person. Come on, don't be so humble. If you were a normal person, how could we live? A normal person who drives a Porsche and lives in South Hill Manor." Min, okay, I'll stop teasing you. I haven't seen you in so long. It's great to see you here. Otherwise, if I went to South Side to look for you, you probably wouldn't be so nice to me. Say, are all people this weird? Min looked at Jiang Yi and asked. You mean? He didn't seem to understand what Min meant. It's just that what you can't have is always the best. Where did you get all these sentiments from? Jiang Yi smiled faintly. Isn't there a popular TV series called 3 Lives, 3 Generations, 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms? You like to watch this kind of drama. This is for little girls, okay? Jiang Yi was also shocked. His goddess also liked to watch dramas. Why can't I? I'm a girl too. Even though I'm old, I still have the heart of a young girl, okay? I'm not an alien. Min rolled his eyes at Jiang Yi. So, you like Yi Huajun too? Jiang Yi asked tentatively. No, I like Li Jing. Jiang Yi, why are you looking at me like that? Young lady, your taste is really unique. Jiang Yi smiled. Well, to each his own. I was just thinking that Li Jing never got together with Bai Qian, so he missed her his whole life. If he had married Bai Qian, then, he would have missed Empyrean Maiden for the rest of his life. Are all men like this? What you can't have is always the best. I really don't know how to answer your question. After all, I'm standing from a man's point of view. My thoughts can't represent all men, but I feel that from my point of view, it's not like that. If it's something you like, you'll cherish it regardless of whether you get it or not. If it's something you don't like in the first place, then you might turn a blind eye to it even if you have it for the rest of your life. Let me put it this way. When you're shopping, you like a dress that costs tens of thousands, but you can't afford it, so you settle for a cheaper one that costs only a few hundred. After you get home, you don't like it in the first place, so you don't like to wear it. In fact, you haven't worn it even once. That makes sense. Min nodded. After all, Jiang Yi was much older than him, so he had more experience in life. Oh, right, what did you want to ask me about? Min suddenly remembered that Jiang Yi had something to ask her when he saw her. It's like this, I recently found an important clue. Before Jiang Yi could finish, he heard a voice from behind him. Jiang Yi, are you close to Dr. Hua? Su Yute stood behind Min, his face cold and hostile as he looked at Jiang Yi. Chapter 2570. Min and Jiang Yi turned around at the same time and saw Su Yu not far behind them. Maybe it was because he came out in a hurry, but Su Yu was still wearing a business suit. It was black and casual, and he looked very energetic. Maybe it was because he just got a haircut, but he looked very refreshed. Wow, handsome Su is here. Just in time. Not far away, Little Bean was excited. Hearing that Su Yu was here, Little Bean stopped playing with her phone and looked over. Sure enough, handsome Su's tall and handsome figure stunned the entire Nantian Hot Springs. The general manager was so shocked that he came out to greet him. Although it was the Wei family's business, Su Yu had only been here once during the opening ceremony. He usually didn't have time to come, but this time, the young master's arrival really shocked everyone. The waitresses and girls all wanted to put on more makeup, hoping to attract Suyu's attention. But to their surprise, Suyu came in a hurry. He didn't come to the hot springs, but went straight to the lounge and found Huamin and Jiang Yi. Then, he attacked. "Oh, President Su, what a coincidence. You're here too." Seeing Suyu, Jiang Yi smiled and immediately stood up. Suyu didn't stand on ceremony. He pulled a chair and sat between Jiang Yi and Huamin. It felt like he was intruding. "Why are you here? Aren't you at work?" Huamin was surprised to see Suyu. Then, she turned around and looked at her daughters behind her. She immediately understood what was going on. "I'm at work. I'm not busy, so I came to see." "You're not busy. Who are you trying to fool?" Huamin looked helplessly at Lord Su, who was lying through his teeth. "Jiang Yi, are you close to Huamin?" "Yeah, I know Dr. Huo from before. We're friends." Jiang Yi smiled. "Really? But how come I've never heard Mian mention you? I know very well what kind of person you are in the industry. Even if it's a female artist under our company, I won't interfere with you. But I'm warning you, don't have any ideas about my friend." Suyu really didn't give him any face and directly gave him a heavy warning. "President Su, you must have misunderstood. I might have been delusional in the past, but now, forget it. I know myself very well. Dr. Hua is not someone I can reach. Even you can't reach him, let alone a small fry like me." Jiang Ye's words were especially harsh, and Suyu wasn't happy to hear them. "Don't talk to us about these useless things. As an actor, you should either act well or live a low-key life. Don't make trouble for yourself." "Yes. Then you can leave first. I have something to talk to Mian about, and it's not convenient for you to be here." Suyu bluntly asked him to leave. Jiang Yi still had something to say to Huamin, so he was a bit reluctant to leave. "Oh, then you can leave first. We'll talk another day." Huamin gave him a way out. "Okay, then I'll leave first. I don't want to waste your time." Jiang Yi stood up helplessly. It wasn't easy for him to have a chance to talk to Huamin alone, but it was ruined by Suyu. What a pity. After Jiang Yi left, Huamin picked up the teacup on the side and lowered his head to drink tea. "Don't talk to Jiang Yi from now on. He doesn't have a good reputation in the industry. He likes to trick innocent girls like you," Suyu said with a straight face. Huamin laughed out loud. "You're still laughing. I was so anxious. Dr. Hua, can you be more serious?" Chapter 2571. "Lord Su, I'm not an innocent girl. Don't think too highly of me. Still, you can't get too close to Jiang Yi, okay? He's not a good guy," Suyu warned with a serious face. "I know. What do you know? If you knew, why would you sit down and chat with him over tea? Seriously, so, you came in such a timely manner. I'm guessing my little bean must have tipped him off, right?" Suyu didn't know what to say. He wanted to make up a story, but Huamian wasn't going to believe him. She was too smart. That's not the point. The point is, don't be so stupid that you don't even know you've been tricked. "Who tricked me?" Huamin laughed. "Have you been in contact with Hui Yanyan lately?" Suyu deliberately changed the topic. "Not really. We barely talk on WeChat." "Yeah. What's wrong? Why did you bring her up all of a sudden?" Huamin was puzzled. "It's best if we don't contact each other. Did you find out something?" Huamin thought Suyu wouldn't say something like this for no reason. Last time, Shenmingshi and I drank and talked about some things. I was so angry that I beat him up. Then our friendship capsized. Ha! You and young Master Shen broke up? Huamin was surprised. Yeah. Why? Because of you. Because of me. What does that have to do with me? I'm not going to take the blame. Huamin held his teacup and looked innocent. Shenmingshi said that he and Hui Yanyan came to you and begged you to see Hua Xiqian. Oh, that thing. Huamian's expression turned unnatural when she heard this. You must be very upset, right? After all, you dislike Hua Xiqian so much, so you asked. It's true that I don't like Hua Xiqian, but I'm not happy about what they did. Hui Yanyan, right? How should I put it? I told her not to mess with Hua Xiqian because she's no match for him, but she, sigh. Huamin sighed slightly and didn't continue. However, with Su Yu's intelligence and wisdom, he could roughly guess what she was trying to say. In the end, Hui Yanyan thought that she had Shenmingshi's backing, so she recklessly went to seek revenge. In the end, she shot herself in the foot, right? Okay. Huamin nodded. The most infuriating thing is that you have to clean up this mess for them. Su Yu was extremely angry. After all, she saved my daughters. Don't I owe her a favor? Ha! Huamin smiled helplessly. Bullshit. Hui Yanyan, why didn't she think about who kidnapped the twins? Wasn't it Hua Si? She said that she wanted to help you and your daughters, but in reality, she knew that if anything happened to the twins, Qin Chu and I would have killed Hua Si and his entire family. Killing him 100 times wouldn't have been enough to appease our hatred. Forget it, Lord Su. Let's not talk about what happened in the past. Okay. From now on, don't worry about Hui Yanyan. That woman doesn't deserve your help, Su Yu advised Huamin. Lord Su, you overestimate me. Hui Yanyan doesn't need my help now. She has young Master Shen as her backing. Huamin smiled helplessly. I have a bad feeling. Su Yu said slowly. What feeling? Huamin looked at him in confusion. Chapter 2572. I have a feeling that if Shenmingshi continues to hang out with Hui Yanyan like this, he'll die in her hands sooner or later. I don't think so. Of course not. Haven't you heard of the term femme fatale? Ever since Shenmingshi started hanging out with her, he's been having bad luck. He's even working with Hua Xiqian. With how narrow-minded he is, Hua Xiqian can tell what they're up to. He wanted to set her up, but now he's trapped by her. They're all adults. They should be able to deal with this themselves. Huamin didn't want to interfere with those who didn't want to do it. Ha! Why are you here alone? Where's Pudding and Little Bean? Su Yu looked around. They're soaking in the hot spring over there. Huamin pointed, and Su Yu immediately walked over to the hot spring. Since they were VIP guests at Nantian Hot Spring, the two girls enjoyed a huge rose bath. When Su Yu came, the two of them were very excited. Handsome Su, over here. Little Bean wanted to stand up and wave. Miss Qin Mumu, calm down. You're wearing a swimsuit. Don't expose yourself, Pudding reminded her. I won't. Ha, I'm meaty. Little Bean laughed. That's why I think you shouldn't be called Little Bean. Mommy should give you a nickname, Meaty. Screw you, Little Bean scolded her sister. Su Yu walked over, squatted by the hot spring, and rolled up the sleeves of his white shirt. He reached out and patted the heads of the two girls. How was it? Was it fun? It wasn't. I wanted to go to Imperial Star to find you, but my sister didn't agree. She even played rock, paper, scissors with me. Mommy said we should listen to whoever wins. But my sister won, so we came here. So. Handsome Sue, don't be nice to my sister. She doesn't love you as much as I do. Little Bean pouted and began to complain to Sue. Pudding just listened calmly and didn't bother to explain. Ha! Pudding, did you really do that? Sue deliberately asked Pudding. You have to shake Little Bean's words dry before listening to them. They're too watery, Pudding said calmly. Ha! Sue was amused by the two kids. Handsome Sue, I'm telling you, I'm the one who truly loves you now. You have to treat me well from now on. My sister is too scheming and two-faced. Humph, she's not honest. Little Bean was going all out in order to win his favor. Little Bean, do you dare to repeat what you did just now? Pudding asked. Why wouldn't I dare? Just say it. Which sentence do you want me to repeat? Little Bean raised her chubby little face. When you said you loved Handsome Sue very much, Pudding reminded her. That's right. I love Handsome Sue the most. None of you miss him as much as I do, Little Bean said proudly. Okay, I've recorded it. I'm going to send it to Gao Buiyuan, Pudding said as she fiddled with her phone. Fuck. Little Bean was dumbfounded. I'm going to tell Mommy that you cursed. Then, Pudding stood up and pretended to call Huamin. Sis, my dearest sister. You're the prettiest, smartest, and most beautiful sister in the world. Please let me go, okay? Let you go for what? Not telling Mommy that you cursed. Not sending Buiyuan a WeChat message because you confessed to Handsome Sue. Little Bean, ha ha ha, Little Bean, you and Gao Buiyuan have been very close recently. Sue reached out his finger and knocked on Little Bean's head. Handsome Sue, you're wrong. My sister went to Auntie Xiaowei's house for dinner yesterday. You're asking the wrong person. Little Bean tried to shift the topic to her sister. Chapter 2573. Chin Mumu, do you want to die? Pudding threatened. Ha, sis, I love you so much. Can you stop sending Buiyuan WeChat messages? Pudding came back to her senses and continued to coax her sister, Sue looked down at his watch. It's almost noon. What do you want to eat? Hawaiian-style pizza, fried chicken, onion rings, Haagen-Dazs, and mango smoothie. Thank you. Pudding didn't forget to turn around and order while bickering with her sister. Girl, do you think I'm a delivery man? Sue laughed. Handsome Sue, I really want to eat. Mommy said those are all fried junk food. She hasn't let me and my sister eat them in a long time. I'm craving them, Pudding begged. Pudding, what about you? What do you want to eat? Anything is fine. Pudding didn't have high standards for food. Then pizza it is, Sue said. Wow, Handsome Sue, you're so great. I love you so much. Don't ask me, I'll ask your mommy first. If she doesn't agree, there's nothing I can do, Sue said. Pudding, in the end, after getting Huamin's permission, Sue drove the three of them to a nearby Western restaurant and began their fried chicken journey. On the other hand, Chin Chu had just finished a project in his office when he received a private message on Weibo. Guess who I am? If you get it right, you'll get a reward. Question mark. Chin Chu only replied with a question mark. In fact, there were a lot of private messages from fans, but Chin Chu didn't reply. The problem was that although this account's avatar was cartoon, he could still vaguely see the outline of the avatar. However, he could still vaguely make out the outline. To be honest, when he first saw the comic version of this avatar, he thought it was Mion. She was wearing a baseball cap and looked cute in casual clothes. However, Huamin had her own Weibo account and was officially recognized as the vice director of Southside and the wife of GK's president, Qin Chu. This account wasn't verified and didn't have many fans. Qin Chu immediately knew her identity. Take a guess. There really is a reward. I'm not lying to you. Zhang Manlin. Wow. How did you guess that? You're amazing, Zhang Manlin said. Your cartoon avatar, Qin Chu said. She looks like me, doesn't she? Zhang Manlin asked excitedly. She looks like my wife, Qin Chu said. Upon hearing Qin Chu's words, Zhang Manlin was a little unhappy, but she didn't continue to pester him. Instead, he changed the topic and said, since you've guessed it, let me treat you to a meal, okay? When? How is it now? I'm off today. I went to the orphanage in the morning to deliver some stationery to the children. I'm still outside now. You do charity work. How can this be called charity? Charity is for you rich people. I'm just doing things that are within my ability to help people in need. I didn't know you were so caring, Qin Chu praised her. Not really. I don't think it's a big deal. President Qin, I'll treat you to ramen, okay? Ramen. Qin Chu frowned slightly. Don't worry, it's not Oaxayan's ramen. I don't like that place. I don't know why the vice director likes it so much. I like the Halal Lanzhao ramen on Heshi Road. It's really good. They give a lot of beef and the soup is delicious. Do you want to go? Now? Yeah, I'm already here. If you come, I'll order a bowl for you. If you don't, I'll eat 2 bowls myself, Zhang Manlin said. Chapter 2574. Wait for me. Qin Chu only replied with 3 words before he fell silent. Zhang Manlin was overjoyed. She yelled in the noodle shop, "Boss, give me a big bowl of beef noodles." Okay. Ignoring the reporters, Qin Chu drove his black Bentley to Heshi Road. He found Zhang Manlin at a noodle shop called Ziqiao Lanzhao Ramen. You're so fast, less than 15 minutes. Zhang Manlin was surprised. I took the highway, Qin Chu replied faintly. But I didn't even tell you the name of the noodle shop. How did you find it? It's the only one on Heshi Road. I'm being silly again. Sorry about that, President Qin. Qin Chu didn't say anything. Just then, the boss brought out a bowl of steaming hot noodles and placed it in front of Qin Chu. I ordered a big bowl for you. It's really good. Do you want to try it? Zhang Manlin blinked her eyes at him. Qin Chu felt that many of Zhang Manlin's small movements were very similar to Huamin's. This included her expression when she saw something fun or delicious. She purposely widened her eyes. Huamin's actions were spontaneous, so it was natural. Zhang Manlin was imitating, so even if she tried hard, it was still a bit stiff. Is it good? Zhang Manlin couldn't wait to ask after Qin Chu ate a mouthful of noodles. It's so-so, Qin Chu commented. How about compared to Oaxayan's ramen? Zhang Manlin asked tentatively. I still prefer the taste of Oaxayan's ramen, Qin Chu said honestly. Actually, you like Oaxayan's ramen because of our vice director, right? I heard that she loves it too. Yeah, we've eaten at that noodle shop for many years. Looks like it's really good. I have to try it when I have time, Zhang Manlin said as she lowered her head and started eating. Even the way she ate was so similar to Huamin's, Qin Chu suddenly felt a little disgusted. He didn't even want to pretend anymore. Do you know Hua Xiqin? Qin Chu asked casually. Zhang Manlin shuddered in fear. President Qin, what did you say? She looked up in surprise. Say, do you know Hua Xiqin? Qin Chu asked as he slowly picked at the noodles in the bowl. Zhang Manlin's face alternated between green and white. It was obvious that she was scared. Hua Xiqin. Who is he? Since you know your vice dean so well, you should know about Hua Xiqin. I really don't know. Maybe I didn't notice. Hee hee. How could that be? The president of the Hua Corporation is so rich. As Hua Mian's brother, it doesn't make sense that you don't know him. Qin Chu stared at her face and asked. Oh, the president of the Hua Corporation. Ha, I saw him on TV. I heard that he's quite handsome in person. A lot of nurses at Southside are fans of him, but I don't like that type. I like cold and aloof men. Zhang Manlin bit her lip and looked at Qin Chu, trying to hide her guilt. I see. That's a shame. I thought that since you know Hua Xiqin, we could talk about him. Talk about, what about him? I heard that the vice dean doesn't have a good relationship with him. Yeah, don't you want to ask why? I'm guessing it's because of the inheritance. I heard that President Hua took all the inheritance and didn't give a cent to the vice dean and Hua Yanyan. I don't know if that's true or not. Zhang Manlin smiled awkwardly. How about I call him now and ask him to come here and see you? I'm guessing that Hua Xiqin will be very surprised to see you. Qin Chu sneered. Why? Zhang Manlin was getting more and more nervous. She didn't know what Qin Chu wanted. Chapter 2575. Because he cares about Mian a lot. He'd be surprised if he saw you who look like Mian. Is that so? Zhang Manlin couldn't take it anymore. Her heart was about to break down. Did he think she wasn't sure why Qin Chu said all this? Was he testing her? Or did he not know anything? What's wrong? You don't look well. Qin Chu asked on purpose. Maybe it's the flu in my stomach. I want to vomit. President Qin, I'm sorry. I need to go back to the hospital to get some medicine. I can't take it anymore. Okay. Then, Zhang Manlin got up in a hurry and was about to leave. Wait, Qin Chu said behind her. Zhang Manlin was so scared that she broke out in cold sweat. She thought Qin Chu had found out and she was about to be exposed. Hua Xiqin had trained her for 5 years so that she could be of help at a time like this. If she lost her value, then, she was finished. All her previous efforts would be in vain. Not only would she go back to her poor life, but she might also be punished by Hua Xiqin. Therefore, Zhang Manlin was extremely nervous, and her heart was restless. What's wrong, President Qin? Zhang Manlin came back to her senses with a pale face. She didn't even dare to look Qin Chu in the eye. You forgot to take your bag. Qin Chu pointed at Zhang Manlin's white bag that was on her back. Oh, thank you. Look at my memory. I'm so stupid. Goodbye, President Qin. I'll treat you to noodles another day. Then, Zhang Manlin left in a hurry, looking at her anxious figure. Qin Chu sneered. You can't sit still anymore. You want to separate us with such poor mental fortitude. Hua Xiqin, you're dreaming. Inside the Western restaurant, Suyu and Huamin were eating happily with the kids. They didn't expect Hua Xiqian to be here too. Moreover, he was with Yan Ruoshi. The two of them were talking and laughing as they walked in. "Mommy, look. It's that big bad guy." Little Bean secretly tugged on her mommy's sleeve. Huamin and Suyu also noticed them. At this time, Hua Xiqian also looked over. He smiled and walked over with Yan Ruoshi. "What a coincidence, you guys are here too." Hua Xiqian smiled. Before Huamin could reply, Yan Ruoshi glanced at Suyu and said meaningfully, "From afar, I thought it was President Qin's family of 4. I didn't expect it to be President Su." Suyu glared at them and didn't answer. He continued to dip his fries in ketchup and eat them. "Mr. Hua, you don't seem to be welcomed here. So, can you please leave us alone?" Pudding put down the phone and glanced at them calmly. "Kid, how can you talk to your uncle like that?" Yan Ruoshi was a little annoyed. "Let me correct you. First, he was never my uncle. If you need an uncle, you can take him," Pudding said. "You." Yan Ruoshi was speechless. "Second, I'm not a kid, and I don't know you that well. Woman, don't pretend to be an elder when you talk to us." Yan Ruoshi. "Third, can't you see we're eating? Is it really polite for you guys to watch? Don't you have basic manners? Why don't you go away?" Pudding didn't like Hua Xiqian, so she didn't have a good impression of Yan Ruoshi. Therefore, her words were quite sharp. "Sis, I like you." Little Bean gave her a thumbs up. At this time, Hua Xiqian glanced at Huamin and suddenly said, "Mian, I'm getting married." Hearing this, Huamin looked up at Hua Xiqian in shock. Chapter 2576. Did I hear that right? Huamin was a little confused. Suyu was also shocked. He looked up at Hua Xiqian in disbelief. "I said. I'm getting married," Hua Xiqian repeated with a smile. "When?" Huamin asked. 20 days from now on Sunday. With Miss Yan." Huamin glanced at Yan Ruoshi. She was holding Hua Xiqian's arm and smiling proudly. Hua Xiqian didn't answer directly. He just smiled and didn't say anything. "What does your marriage have to do with us? Do you want my mommy to spend money on a wedding gift?" "No way," Little Bean said fiercely. "Yes, we won't spend a penny." Pudding stood on the same side as her little sister. Hua Xiqian wasn't angry. Instead, he laughed. "Pudding, you're too stingy. You've been buying shares of the Hua Corporation and made a lot of money, haven't you?" Pudding didn't say anything. She thought to herself, so Hua Xiqian knew about it. He must be really smart. It's a good thing that you two are getting married. You don't have to ruin other people's lives. Although I don't like you, I still want to congratulate you." Suyu was in a good mood. "Thank you, President Su. You must come and drink with us." "Okay. Mian, you guys go ahead and eat. I won't disturb you." "Oh, right, the rumors about you two have been spreading like wildfire. Is it true?" Hua Xiqian suddenly asked. Huamin's eyes darkened. He licked the corner of his mouth and didn't answer directly. "Big bad guy, mind your own business. Don't worry about other people," Little Bean retorted. "Qian, let's go. We still have a lot of wedding details to discuss. Why should we waste time here?" Yan Ruoshi held on to Hua Xiqian's arm and said coquettishly. "Okay." Then, the two of them turned and walked upstairs. "Mian, do you think what he said was true? I don't think you're joking about something like this." After all, Hua Xiqian's wedding is going to cause a sensation in the city. Many media outlets will be reporting about it, Hua Min said slowly. But I heard that Hua Xiqian didn't like Yan Ruoshi and always kicked her out. Why do I feel like something is wrong now? Su Yu was puzzled. Maybe Hua Xiqian needs Yan Ruoshi's father's help. After all, her father is the mayor. That's true. For someone like Hua Xiqian, everyone around him is just a pawn. Mommy, now that the big bad guy is married, we'll be fine. We won't have to worry about him harassing you anymore, right? That's a good thing. You won't fight with Daddy anymore, right? Little Bean asked nervously. Mommy and Daddy didn't fight to begin with. Hua Min smiled and patted Little Bean's head. Then Mommy, don't eat supper with that creepy-looking male doctor at South Side anymore, okay? Daddy will be jealous, Little Bean said. Hua Min looked embarrassed. It seemed like the creepy-looking male Dr. Little Bean was talking about was Lu Zhe. You're eating supper with a male doctor? Hua Min, you've grown up. So you didn't know what to feel. Ahem. It's a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. Hua Min was even more embarrassed. Handsome Su, I want another Haagen-Dazs. Little Bean turned around and looked at Su Yu with puppy eyes. She immediately changed the topic. Su Yu was about to speak when his phone rang. Hello. What? Really? Su Yu was pleasantly surprised. Okay, If you dare to lie to me, I'll strip you naked and make you run around naked. Su Yu hung up the phone and was in a good mood. Guess who's back? Su Yu asked mysteriously. Chapter 2577. Uncle Tang, Pudding answered. Smart. That's the right answer. Su Yu gave Pudding a thumbs up dotingly. This girl was so smart, he could tell from her tone. What? You're so talkative. I was about to say it was Uncle Tang. Pudding pouted. Chin Mumu, what's the point of saying such things in hindsight? Pudding glanced at her sister calmly. I'm not saying such things in hindsight. I really did think of it. After all, handsome Su only has a few good friends. Even an idiot would think of it. Pudding was obviously not convinced. Okay. You're both great. Stop arguing. You're giving me a headache. Hua Min was most afraid of the twins arguing. They could argue for 3 days and 3 nights and still enjoy it. Yeah. Our Little Bean is great too. Su Yu was also fair. He was afraid that if he offended one of them, he would have a hard time in the future. Handsome Su, is my auntie back too? Pudding suddenly realized an important question. I forgot to ask. Su Yu was dumbfounded. You. Look at how careless you are. You're not even as good as a kid. Hua Min laughed. The problem is, she's not a kid. She's smart, okay. Su Yu smiled helplessly. I'm guessing. Auntie must be back too. They're in the honeymoon phase of their relationship. Uncle Tang can't come back alone. It's hard enough to be in a long-distance relationship, let alone an international one. Auntie must be back too. By the way, where are they now? Pudding looked at Su Yu and asked. They just got off the plane. They're in the VIP lounge. I'm going to pick them up. I want to go too. Pudding immediately raised her hand. Okay. I'll take you. I'll go too. Pudding put away her cell phone calmly. What about you? Suyu looked at Huamin. I won't go. It'll be boring with so many people. You can take them. Ningning will definitely stay at my place tonight. I'll just bring them back. Mommy, where are you going? Pudding asked. Me. I'm going to the company to take a look. Your Auntie Bella has been sending me WeChat messages, asking me to visit her when I'm free. You can go to the company, but remember, Mommy, you can't meet that creepy-looking male doctor, Little Bean warned. Understood, ancestor. Huamin looked helpless. She didn't know what logic Little Bean had. Why did she suspect that there was something between her and Lu Zhe? She was speechless. Suyu felt that it was a pity that Huamin didn't go, but he didn't urge her to stay. He looked at Huamin's back as she left. She was almost 30 years old, but she was still the same calm, elegant, and wise Huamin that he liked so much that he couldn't let go of. Don't look. You can't take your eyes off her. Little Bean tugged on Suyu's sleeve. Little brat, don't talk nonsense. Suyu was also embarrassed. Handsome Su, don't mind my sister. She's been updating early, Pudding explained. Bullshit. I'm not updating early. How old am I? Don't slander me, okay? Don't think that you can bully me just because you married into the Wei family and became a young lady. Let me tell you, Wei Yuan is going to be the director of the municipal bureau. When that time comes, your Wei Yunchu will have to rely on us, the senior officials, to do his business. Stop bragging. Would you die? Gao Buiyuan's body is too fat to be a police officer, let alone a director. Don't you feel ashamed? You're just bragging. Pudding exposed him, making Siyu speechless. Chapter 2578. Handsome Su, look at my sister, she's bullying us again. Little Bean stomped her feet in anger. Okay, stop arguing. Your mommy just left and you're going to turn into a demon. Let's go, your Uncle Tang can't wait any longer. Then, Suyu held the twins' hands and got into the sports car. In fact, the sports car could only seat 2 people. 2 kids weren't allowed to sit in the passenger seat. Usually, whenever Huamin and Qin Chu took the kids out, they would change cars and not drive sports cars. However, Siyu was different. He was a man who could do anything he wanted in this city. Even if the traffic police saw him, they wouldn't dare to stop him. This was the power that the Su family had built up over decades. The black Lamborghini sped towards the airport. After Huamin came out of Nantian Hot Springs, he drove to GK as expected. President Hua. President Hua, nice to meet you. A young lady, nice to meet you. When the people in the company saw Huamin, they all greeted him respectfully. Some called him President Hua, while others called him a young lady. Sis, why are you here? Jixin had just finished a meeting in the department with a report. When he walked out and saw Huamin, he was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, where's Bella? Oh, she's in the finance department. She went to settle the salaries of the employees who left this month. Okay. Sis, why are you looking for her? Nothing, I just want to see her. What's wrong? Huamin turned around and looked at Jixin. It's nothing, Ha. Go ahead. Jixin scratched his head. He was too embarrassed to tell his sister about the snail-like progress between him and Bella. Back then, Huamin did a lot to set them up. However, Jixin didn't dare to take the final step, so his relationship with Bella was still hanging by a thread. When Huamian was about to push the door open, she heard Bella's voice from the inside. I've tolerated you guys for a long time. In the future, if I hear you guys talking about President Qin and President Hua behind their backs again, don't blame me for being rude. Although I don't have the final say in this company, I have more than enough power to fire a small finance employee. Sister Bella, why are you throwing a tantrum at us? We're not the ones who spread the rumors. Didn't the media say that President Qin was photographed having dinner with another woman? President Hua is also said to be having an affair with a male doctor. These are all groundless rumors, they're not true. As GK's employees, you don't have much to do, but you sure know how to gossip. If that's the case, why are you still in finance? Why don't you just become paparazzi? Bella's words were sharp. Everyone was silent. Bella was an experienced employee and was very capable. She used to be Huamin's personal assistant, and later became very close to Jixin, so no one dared to offend her. Sister Sun, you're not young anymore, don't mess around with young people. Work hard until you retire. After all, GK treats its employees well. If you get fired one day, you'll lose all your benefits. Don't say I didn't warn you. Bella glared at Sun Xiaoxiao. I know, Assistant Bella. Sun Xiaoxiao bit her lip and didn't dare to say anything else. Upon hearing this, Huamin gently knocked on the door and walked in. Bella. President Hua, why are you here? Bella was pleasantly surprised to see Huamin. Emichim, I don't have anything to do today, so I came to see you guys who are working overtime. Thank you for your hard work, Huamin looked around and said with a smile. It's not hard at all, a young lady, you're too kind. Everyone in the finance department was terrified, thinking that Huamin heard what they said and that they would be in trouble. Chapter 2579. Huamin walked up to Sun Xiaoxiao with a smile. She was so scared that she lowered her head and didn't dare to look at Huamin. Big Sister Sun, are you all right? Did you continue to take your medicine? I'm fine. Thank you for your concern, a young lady, Sun Xiaoxiao said obediently. She didn't have the arrogance she had when she was gossiping. Bella glared at her, feeling better. Emichim, that's good. Myocardial infarction isn't a laughing matter. Take care of yourself. Okay, a young lady. Bella, let's go. We'll talk in your office. Okay. After Huamin and Bella left, the finance department let out a sigh of relief. Do you think a young lady heard what we said just now? A female colleague asked anxiously. Who knows? I think a young lady is unpredictable. Although she doesn't lose her temper, she's still very scary. Forget it. I've learned my lesson. Let's not talk about it anymore. It doesn't matter if she's divorced or not. It's none of our business. We're only responsible for working and making money. Sun Xiaoxiao was also scared. She had always been afraid that Huamin would cause trouble for her. After all, when she first recovered from her illness, she arranged that dinner party. That was how she got Qin Chu and Zhang Manlin together. She had always felt guilty about it. In Bella's office, President Hua, why didn't you tell me you were coming? I came here on the spur of the moment. I'll make you a cup of tea. Bella stood up. Don't be so busy. Have a seat. I just came out of Nantian hot springs and had a bellyful of tea. I'm not thirsty. Then why are you here today? Bella didn't know if Huamin was here to check up on President Qin or something else. I just came to see you. Every time you sent me a WeChat message, I felt like you wanted to say something. I was very busy at the hospital and didn't have time to talk to you in detail. So, I'm free today. President Hua, this matter is actually. Just call me Sister Mian. I'm not President Hua anymore. Huamin smiled. Bella pursed her lips and smiled faintly. Sister Mian, I think. Jishin told you about it before, right? Are you talking about my husband and Zhang Manlin? Hua Min asked. Bella nodded. Okay, go on. Hua Min knew that Bella was a very cautious person, so he respected some of her thoughts and choices. I feel that President Qin's whereabouts have been very suspicious recently, you mean? There are a lot of things that he has to cancel before he even finishes his important work. But it's not time to get off work yet, so I think it might have something to do with Zhang Manlin. Plus, President Qin has never looked at any female colleagues, no matter how pretty they are. But he seems to treat Zhang Manlin differently, Bella said in one breath. Oh, I see. Hua Min nodded thoughtfully. There's one more thing that I feel very depressed about. Go ahead. Hua Min listened to Bella carefully. After Assistant Yang's accident, he's been recuperating and hasn't come back. Okay, I know. Hua Min nodded. Assistant Yang had been a good person at GK for the past few years. After he was hospitalized, Qin Chu and Hua Min personally visited him at the hospital and his home many times. Assistant Yang's injuries are almost healed. He asked to come back to work, but President Qin didn't approve, Bella said unhappily. What does Assistant Yang's return have to do with this? Hua Min froze. I think President Qin doesn't want Zhang Manlin to come to GK as his assistant and replace Assistant Yang. Bella was a little worried. Chapter 2580. You can't replace his assistant, right? Hua Min chuckled. I'm serious, Sister Mian. You don't have to let your guard down anymore. The media may have exaggerated things, but President Qin did meet with Zhang Manlin a few times in private. I know about 3 or 4 times, and Zhang Manlin paused. And what? I don't want you to feel uncomfortable if I tell you. Just tell me. It's okay. I'm not as weak as you think. And when I brought President Qin his coffee, I saw him and Zhang Manlin texting each other on WeChat. Oh, no, not WeChat. It should be on Weibo. Bella recalled carefully. Okay. I got it. Sister Mian, it's useless to know. You can't keep holding back. Then what can I do? Tear Zhang Manlin apart. That's not my style. I think it's low. Hua Min chuckled. Indeed, she had never thought that Zhang Manlin was a match for her. Even the scheming Song Yisher was nothing to her. You don't have to tear Zhang Manlin apart, but you have to at least do something about it. For example, I think you can ask the twins to call their dad or something to buy more time for President Qin to stay at home with you and the twins, or continue. Hua Min knew Bella was very careful with her words. Without his permission, she wouldn't say anything. Or you can seize the opportunity to have a second child. Ha ha ha. Hua Min laughed heartily at her words. What are you laughing at? Did I say something wrong? Bella bit her lip, not knowing what to do. You're right. I think it's an interesting idea. I'm serious. Don't take it to heart. I know, I remember. Afterwards, Hua Min and Bella chatted for a while. In the end, he grabbed Bella's hand and said, Bella, you're not young anymore. Although Jishin is younger than you, I can tell that you still have feelings for him. Don't worry about what other people think of you. Happiness is your own, and it's something that will last for the rest of your life. I've watched Jishin grow up. I can't guarantee anything else, but don't worry about his character. Sister Mian, I know, Bella said shyly. Alright, there have been a lot of things going on recently. After a while, you can officially have a meal at my house and meet my mother. If there are no problems then, you can settle the matter as soon as possible. Don't delay it. We're not in a hurry. Let's settle the matter between you and Chairman Qin first. Mr. Qin and I are fine. Don't worry. Even if something happens, it will pass, Huamin said confidently. His words to Bella were also very vague, and Bella was very confused when she heard it. After talking for a while, Huamin saw that it was getting late, so he stood up and left. Sister Mian, wait for a while. When Chairman Qin comes back, you can leave together. No, I still want to go to the hospital. There's an orthopedic surgery today, and I'm worried. I want to go and check it out. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Be careful. As soon as Huamin left GK, Qin Chu came back, so the couple didn't see each other. After Zhang Manlin ran away, Qin Chu went to meet with his business partners to discuss business. It was quite a fulfilling day. In the departure lounge of Sea City International Airport, Auntie. The twins ran to her as soon as they saw her. Chapter 2581. Little Bean, did you miss me? Qin Ning was always dressed in jeans and a white short-sleeved shirt. Maybe it was because the weather was getting warmer, but she was wearing a very short shirt that exposed her navel. Qin Ning, who had always been conservative, showed off her personality. Qin Ning hugged Little Bean and kissed her on her chubby cheeks. Her eyes were full of love. Madam, we're not in L.A. Can you put on a jacket? Tang Chuan put a black jacket on Qin Ning. He was very considerate. Oh, young Master Tang, I didn't expect you to have such a day. Suyu laughed at him. Single people don't understand this feeling. You can laugh at me, but I don't care. I sympathize with you. Fuck, what are you talking about? Suyu rolled his eyes at Tang Chuan. Ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. Don't be so serious. Tang Chuan smiled and patted Suyu on the shoulder. Pudding, come here. Auntie wants to kiss you. Qin Ning waved at Pudding, who was standing on the side calmly. No, you'll get saliva all over my face, Pudding said in disdain. Qin Ning, ha ha ha, I didn't know you'd be disliked, Tang Chuan teased Qin Ning. Pudding, you can't dislike me. Qin Ning said coquettishly. It's okay if I dislike you. As long as Uncle Tang doesn't dislike you, Pudding said. This kid, her mouth is getting better and better. Qin Ning was speechless. Tang Chuan was in a good mood after he came back. As soon as he got off the plane, he smiled and hugged Suyu's shoulder, talking non-stop. Why are you here alone? Where's my sister-in-law? Qin Ning asked. She went to the company to deal with something. Oh, Suyu, do you know what's going on with them? Qin Ning was impatient and asked directly. Suyu didn't know how to explain. Auntie, let's talk about this in private. As the saying goes, don't wash your dirty linen in public, Little Bean reminded her seriously. Alright, let's go then. Don't be in such a hurry to go back. I want to eat hot pot. No, I really want to eat Haidaleo. Damn, the hot pot in America's Chinatown is so expensive, and it's not authentic. I'm dying. Tang Chuan looked aggrieved. In the end, everyone reached a consensus and went to Haidaleo for a meal. Suyu, Qin Ning, and Tang Chuan brought their 2 children. After Huamin left the company, he did not go straight home. Instead, he went to South Side to collect some documents. Today was Zhang Manlin's day off, so she didn't have to look at Zhang Manlin's face. Zhang Manlin could even imitate her movements. Weisstein. Weisstein, you're here. Did the surgery go well? Huamin asked. Yes, everything is going well. The patient has just been pushed to the intensive care unit and is still under observation. That's good. Weisstein, aren't you off today? The doctor on duty was curious. I came to collect some documents and see how the surgery went. The patient asked President Wu to take extra care of her. Yes, we also received a call from President Wu. We'll take good care of her. Okay, I'll go now. You guys go ahead. After reading the documents, Huamin went back to his office to collect the documents. Just then, someone knocked on the door. Dr. Hua, do you mind if we talk? Chapter 2582. Why are you here again? Huamin smiled when he saw Jiang Yi. It's all because of President Su. He's even more worried about you than your husband. He can't even talk to you peacefully, Jiang Yi said helplessly. Su Yu's always been like that. He's always honest and straightforward. He doesn't know how to pretend. I know. President Su doesn't actually hate me. Otherwise, he wouldn't have agreed to work with us. But I know he doesn't like anyone getting close to you. He thinks I'm too calm and doesn't want me to get bullied, Huamin explained. I know. Why are you here? Huamin suddenly remembered that Jiang Yi seemed to have something important to tell him. However, he was interrupted by Su Yu's arrival. Otherwise, he wouldn't have chased him all the way here from Nantian Hot Springs. Yes, I wanted to tell you. Jiang Yi was just about to speak. Huamin anxiously interrupted him. Jiang Yi, I know you still have feelings for me, but it's impossible between us. You know I have a husband, a child, and a family. In other words, even if I didn't have these things, I would still be single. I wouldn't like you. You're not my type, so don't waste your time. No, Dr. Hua, I actually wanted to say. Jiang Yi was a bit anxious and wanted to explain himself to Huamin. How about this, I'll treat you to a meal as a farewell. In the future, don't come looking for me. You and I aren't even friends. I'm not like Su Yu. Don't even think about getting anything from me. Huamin's tone was cold. Jiang Yi was confused. Huamin's reaction was so big. What he said also confused him. At this moment, he looked at Huamin and suddenly realized that Huamin's eyes seemed to be hinting at something. Jiang Yi wasn't stupid. He had been in the entertainment industry for many years. Therefore, she immediately understood Huamin's intention. She played along and said, Dr. Hua, I actually really like you. I'm not just fooling around. I don't want to use those tricks. If I lack women, I can find a bunch of them in the entertainment industry. They're all younger than you, have good looks, and have good figures. However, I don't like them. There's no point in saying that. I don't think it's meaningful. I know, but I really don't want to give up on you. Let me put it this way, I saw the media say that your relationship with your husband is tense, and you might even get a divorce. So what? What does it have to do with you? Your husband is already like that. He betrayed you. He's not worthy of your love. Why don't you come with me? I'll treat you well. Stop fooling around. With you? Then I might as well follow Su Yu. Huamin sneered. Then can you guarantee that Su Yu won't cheat on you in the future? Jiang Yi asked. Then how can you guarantee that you won't cheat on me in the future? Huamin mocked. I'm different from them. The more fickle a man is on the outside, the more loyal he is. Okay, that's enough. This is my office, where I work. I don't want to discuss these things with you. Jiang Yi didn't say anything. I'll treat you to dinner. After dinner, we'll talk. Hurry back to Jing City and don't come looking for me again. After speaking, Huamin took the documents and walked out of the office. Jiang Yi followed behind him. The sound of the door closing could be heard. Boss, they're out. Should we get someone to follow them? Ah Cheng asked Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian put down the listening device and shook his head. No need. Trash like Jiang Yi is nothing. In the future, he won't have a chance to pester my Mian. After leaving Southside, Jiang Yi and Huamin drove to a secluded coffee shop in the economic district. Dr. Hua, what happened just now? Is there a listening device in your office? Jiang Yi guessed. Chapter 2583. Huamin nodded seriously. Fuck, that's scary. Did Hua Xiqian do this? Jiang Yi continued to guess. Yeah. Holy shit, that psycho, he's everywhere. But if you knew that he planted a bug, how could you still be so calm? I just wanted to beat him at his own game. Even if I got rid of it this time, I don't know where he planted it next time. Beat him at his own game. Oh. I get it now. You and Qin Chu have been acting lately. Jiang Yi suddenly realized what was going on. Huamin didn't answer. Deep down, she didn't want anyone else to know about this. Otherwise, if Hua Xiqian heard about it, everything would be for naught. Jiang Yi seemed to know what Huamin was thinking because he promised her seriously, Huamin, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Thank you. No need to thank me. Hua Xiqian is also my enemy. You want to get revenge for Mo Shui? Huamin asked. Not really. First of all, Mo Shui and I are just friends. We don't have any feelings for each other. Second of all, I'm no match for Hua Xiqian. I'm not that arrogant, but the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So, I won't tell anyone about your acting. What did you want to tell me in the office? Huamin had a feeling that Jiang Yi had something important to tell her. Plus, it seemed like it had something to do with Hua Xiqian. That was why she stopped Jiang Yi in time and didn't let him say it in the office. Otherwise, if Hua Xiqian heard everything, the effect would be ruined. Yeah, it's very important. If Suyu didn't suddenly show up, I would have told you at Nantian Hot Springs. Tell me now, it's safe here. Ever since Qin Chu found out that Hua Xiqian was spying on him, he installed an anti-tracking device in Huamin's bag. Therefore, as long as he came out, he wouldn't be eavesdropped on. He could also check if there was anything eavesdropping on him. It was very advanced. Qin Chu also had one on him. In other words, if they wanted Hua Xiqian to hear, he could hear it. If they didn't want him to hear it, he wouldn't hear it. Hua Mian, let me tell you. You'll be surprised too. I think this is an important clue. Tell me. A while ago, I went to see Mayor Song's wife. Mrs. Song. Didn't she go to a temple in the south to recuperate? Hua Mian asked. She's when she's, and a friend. And I'm. What? Song Yisher's diary, Jiang Yi said mysteriously. Song Yisher's diary. What could it be? He thought about how Song Yisher had been manipulated by Hua Xiqian. It was because of this diary that Qin Chu became a murderer. Therefore, Huamin subconsciously hated the word diary. You don't understand. The diary that was released before Song Yisher's death was written by her, but she didn't want to. She wanted to frame Chin Chu. Yes. Hua Min nodded. But this diary is Song Yisher's real, handwritten diary. When was it written? Before or after? If it was before, it wouldn't be of any value. She didn't have any clues when she was abroad. She was just a rich girl. It wasn't before. It was after she married Hua Siqian. Jiang Yi lowered his voice. How could it be? How could Hua Siqian not destroy such an important diary? Hua Min couldn't believe it. It has to do with her mentality. I think that ever since she married Hua Siqian, Song Yisher has been very abnormal. As for what she went through, only she knows. But she's already dead, so we have no way of knowing. Logically speaking, that shouldn't be the case. Shua was with Hua Siqian for all those years, but she didn't write anything like this in her diary. People are different. Mo Shua loved Hua Siqian. Even if she found out something, she wouldn't say it. But Song Yisher is different. She hated Hua Siqian. She left this diary in the hope that someone would find it in the future and avenge her. Hua Min calmly analyzed. You're the best. You hit the nail on the head. Jiang Yi really admired Hua Min. This girl was younger than him by more than 10 years. She could always find the crux of the problem. Since you got the diary, you should go. It's best if you discuss it with your husband. I think the things inside will be useful to you. Have you read it? What's inside? Hua Min looked at Jiang Yi and asked word by word. She was afraid that people would suspect that she wasn't taking a shower. After a long time, Hua Min finally saw the diary. At this moment, even the look in her eyes had changed. After 4 years, she didn't expect to see something that Song Yisher had left behind. It was really amazing. She had to admit that this woman had some tricks up her sleeve. She actually used this method to preserve this diary. What was even more coincidental was that Jiang Yi had discovered it. If no one had discovered it, wouldn't her efforts have been wasted? After Hua Min finished reading, she burned the diary in the bathroom and flushed it down the toilet. Finally, she walked out of the bathroom. Suddenly, she slipped, and fell toward the floor in front of her. Hua Min gasped in surprise. Then, she instinctively covered her stomach. Chapter 2586. At this moment, a tall figure flashed over and held her in his arms. Smelling the familiar scent, she felt much more at ease. Honey, you're back. Hua Min hugged Chin Chu tightly. How could you be so careless? I was just showering. I forgot to put on my slippers when I came out. Thank goodness you came back in time, or else I would have fallen. Hua Min stuck out her tongue. Just then, Chin Chu suddenly let go of Hua Min and pushed him to the side. I heard you met Jiang Yi at Nantian Hot Springs today. When did you become so close to him? Chin Chu questioned coldly. Hua Min was confused, wondering how Mr. Qin had changed his mind so quickly. Then, he saw Caillou, the maid, pretending to be mopping the floor. He immediately understood what was going on. So, he said on purpose, yeah, but we met by chance. I didn't know he would go. That's not what I asked. What I asked was, how do you know him? Don't you know who he is? I know, but we're just friends. Friends? Then you sure have a lot of friends. Su Yu is your friend, and so is your ex, Ning Ziyuan. Mian, aren't you a little too popular? Qin Chu, what do you mean? You know what I mean. Do you even need to ask? We've been busy all day. I really don't want to fight. Hua Min sighed heavily. I don't want to either, but you're getting more and more out of hand. You took the kids out and even met another man. Is that okay? Qin Chu was a little annoyed. How dare you talk about me like that? When I went to the company this afternoon, you weren't there. The finance department was talking about you and Zhang Manlin. Don't think I don't know anything. You said there's nothing between you and her, but Bella said you've been putting off work and going out. Who knows what you've been doing? It seems that Bella has reached the end of the line. She actually dared to gossip. Qin Chu's face darkened. If you didn't do that, would you let others talk about it? You keep saying that I don't care about the children's feelings, but what about you? Have you ever cared? You've been leaving early and coming home late these days. You've been making excuses about where the kids want to go, saying that you're busy. But in the end, you still went to see Zhang Manlin and got caught by the media. Now that it's blown up, I'm embarrassed in front of my friends. It even made the headlines. Who's the one who doesn't care about this family? Hua Min shouted frantically. Mian, you're becoming more and more unreasonable. I'm unreasonable. Oh my God. Where's the law? This society is unfair to begin with. When a man cheats, everyone thinks it's normal. Even if he apologizes, everything will go back to normal. Then, the red flag at home will not fall, and the red flag outside will not fall. But when a woman has a scandal, she'll drown in saliva. I haven't even been convicted of anything yet, and I'm already the sinner of the whole world, right? Mian, you weren't like this before. Look at you now, you're like a shrew. I'm speechless. I wasn't like this before because we used to love each other so much. But now, you don't like me anymore. I'm not young anymore, and I'm not fun anymore. So, you want someone else. You miss the younger me, and that's why you like Zhang Manlin. Don't talk nonsense. There's no such thing. The media likes to spread rumors. Do you believe them? Where did your high IQ go? Qin Chu accused. Chapter 2587. Haha, the media is making groundless accusations because they can find clues. If you don't want people to talk about you, don't do things like that. Qin Chu, you're not only the president of a big company and a famous entrepreneur, but you're also the father of twins and a woman's husband. Don't forget who you are. Hua Mian glared at him. Forget it, I don't want to talk to you. There's no point in arguing. I'm going to work in the study. With that, Qin Chu turned around and left. No, I'm not done talking. You can't go to the study. With that, Hua Min followed Qin Chu into the study. The noise was still coming from the study, so the maid, Caillou, carefully went downstairs. 5 minutes later, in the study, honey, come here and hug me. Qin Chu opened his arms and pointed at his thigh. He looked at Hua Min with love in his eyes. Hua Min was a little shy. She lowered her head and walked over shyly. She sat on Qin Chu's lap. Wow, what's with that expression? Hua Min tilted her head and looked at Qin Chu. She was very happy to be so close to him. Honey, did you get fat from eating too much? You seem heavier than before. Qin Chu teased her on purpose. Ha, how long has it been since you hugged me? You don't even remember my weight. No, I remember that you got fat from eating too much. So, did you secretly eat something good behind my back? Chin Chu lovingly pinched her chubby cheeks. That's because. Huamin was so happy that she almost blurted out that she was pregnant. But when she thought about the current situation, she held back. Because of what? Chin Chu looked at her curiously. Because. I've been turning my grief into appetite. Pretending to argue with you is tiring, okay? Of course, I have to eat better. That's a reason. Chin Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Why? Do you think I'm fat? How could that be? Go ahead and eat. It's better to get fatter. That way, Suyu won't miss you. Huamin, what does it have to do with Suyu? Don't talk nonsense, okay? I miss you so much. I really hope that these days will end soon. Chin Chu turned Huamin's head and gently kissed it. This kind of kiss made Huamin's heart beat faster. All these years, this kind of feeling had never disappeared. Alright, let's not waste any more time. In a while, that little maid will probably come up to monitor us again. Yes, don't waste time. Honey, take off your pants. Huamin, hubby, you've become dirty, it hasn't changed. Your husband has always been like this. Chin Chu smiled. Alright, stop messing around. I really have something important to tell you. Okay, go ahead. I won't affect you. Then, Mr. Chin began to move his hands up and down. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Come on, Mr. Chin, how can I tell you when you're like this? Can't we just have fun? Huamin was exasperated. Honey, it's been so long and you still haven't given me any pleasure. If this continues, I'll die. Chin Chu said it with a straight face, as if he was a punching bag. Huamin almost laughed out loud. You're still laughing. Honey, you have hands. President Mao said that if you do it yourself, you'll have plenty to eat. Fuck off. How dare you threaten me with the president? No, I have to collect interest first. Chin Chu lifted up Huamin's clothes and began to touch him. She giggled but didn't dare to speak too loudly, afraid that someone outside would overhear. Honey, stop messing around. I really have something important to tell you. Today. I got a Song Isher's diary, Huamin said. Chin Chu immediately stopped what he was doing and his expression became serious. Chapter 2588. She's been dead for so long, why are you bringing her up again? Chin Chu didn't want to talk about Song Isher, even though it was Hua Xiqian who planned everything. However, it was also because of her death that he and Huamian were separated for 4 years. Chin Chu didn't like this woman, so when Mayor Song went to jail, he didn't even visit him, nor did he help the Song family. Chin Chu's motto was, I'm not doing charity, why should I help this and that? Yes, other than his family and loved ones, he didn't care about anything else. Jiang Yi gave me the diary, Jiang Yi. Chin Chu was a bit surprised. Then, Huamin told him how Jiang Yi met him and gave him the diary. Chin Chu didn't say anything. Mian, can we trust Jiang Ye's words? He was indeed suspicious and had to be careful. What if Jiang Yi was Hua Xiqian's man? I'm not sure, but this diary was written by Song Isher herself. I've compared the handwriting. If Jiang Yi was Hua Xiqian's man, then there was no need for him to do this, because the contents of the diary are bad for Hua Xiqian. So, what's the content of the diary? Chin Chu was curious. What did Song Yisher leave behind before she died? It's about Hua Xiqian's split personality. That thing. Don't we all know about it? Qin Chu didn't think this clue was valuable to him. Yes, we know, but we don't know the details. We only know that he has that illness, but Song Yisher lived through it, so the clue she gave us is useful. We can prepare in advance. What did she say? Qin Chu frowned slightly. She said that when Hua Xiqian splits into another person, it's very scary. He doesn't remember his original self, like a demon. His usual self is already a demon, Qin Chu mocked. Yes, but from what Song Yisher wrote, I can feel a chill down my spine. Maybe, it's really scary. That's why we have to get rid of this psychopath. Hubby, do you remember when I told you before, that I saw him after he split? Yeah, I heard you say that. I wonder what it'll be like if I see him like that again. You know, Hua Xiqian keeps saying that he likes me. Even though he hates me, he's never done anything to hurt me. In the past, he only ate with me. But that night, I was really scared. That Hua Xiqian was different from usual. If he had caught me that night, I don't know what would have happened. So... Qin Chu didn't finish. That's why Song Yisher wrote that she saw Hua Xiqian after the split and that he was not human. I sympathized with her. Forget it, it's all in the past. There's no need to sympathize with someone who's no longer alive. I think she deserved it. Honey, we have to be more careful now. After the split, Hua Xiqian is inhumane. He won't show any mercy to us because that's another person in his body. I won't be soft-hearted or soft-hearted anymore. I have to protect myself and our child. After speaking, Hua Min subconsciously covered her stomach. She was a mother again, so she had to be strong. Oh right, I forgot to tell you something. Hua Min suddenly remembered something. What? Qin Chu looked up. Hua Xiqian told me today that he's getting married. Chapter 2589. Married? Qin Chu frowned slightly, finding it strange. Yes. With who? It should be Yan Ruoshi, Mayor Yan's daughter. You know, they've been together before. Did he say it himself? He's going to marry Yan Ruoshi. Qin Chu continued to ask. He didn't say it himself, but I don't think it's fake. Hua Xiqian wouldn't joke about such a big thing, Hua Min analyzed. Then it's strange. How so? Hua Xiqian is acting very strange. Why would he get married at a time like this? Qin Chu was puzzled. Honey, do you think he needs Mayor Yan for something? That's why he's planning to marry Yan Ruoshi. What is his goal? Qin Chu shook his head. Mian, you're being silly again. With Hua Xiqian's current status, he doesn't need to rely on Mayor Yan anymore. He won't be able to achieve anything. Can't you see? He doesn't even want to solve the whole corporation's crisis. It means, he doesn't care about money anymore. What he wants, is you. Qin Chu's words hit the nail on the head. Hua Min froze and didn't know what to say. Hua Xiqian is acting very strange. We need to be more careful. Honey, what should we do next? Hua Min began to worry. Hua Xiqian often didn't play by the rules. He wasn't easy to deal with. Let's wait and see what Hua Xiqian is up to. Emichem, Hua Min nodded. Honey, Emichem. You need to be extra careful these days. Whether it's Lu Zhe or Zhang Manlin, other than those you trust, you need to be extra careful. I have a feeling, our final battle with Hua Xiqian is coming soon, Emichim, I will. Honey, you need to be careful too. I'm worried that he'll do something to you, especially after reading Song Yisher's diary. I'm worried that Hua Sichin will turn into a real demon. He might do something even more cruel and crazy. After all, he's inhumane. Emichim, Hua Min looked at his watch. It was about time. He got up reluctantly and hugged Qin Chu's neck. I really don't have the heart to fight with you. I want to cherish every second. Me too. Qin Chu gently kissed Hua Min's eyelashes, full of love. But I know we have to hold it in. We still have to do it. We have to win. Hua Min was full of confidence. We will. Then I'll go out first. I don't want Kai Yu to see me. Okay. Qin Chu reluctantly watched Hua Min walk out, then, he began to think about the information Hua Min told him tonight. Hua Siqian was getting married. And the other side mentioned in Song Yisher's diary, the demonized Hua Siqian. It seemed like things were getting more and more complicated. When Hua Min walked downstairs, the maid named Kai Yu was still at the door. Hua Mian had an idea and pretended to shed a few tears. A young lady, why are you crying? Kai Yu asked. Nothing, nothing. She purposely didn't say anything and quickened her pace downstairs. Mian, what's wrong? Did you fight with Chu again? Mama Qin asked, heartbroken. Chapter 2590. It's okay, Mom. I'm going to pick up the kids. Where are the kids? Why aren't they back yet? Didn't they go to the hot spring with you this morning? Mama Qin asked. Yeah. Then I got a call saying that Ning Ning and her boyfriend came back to China. They went to have dinner together. They must have had a lot of fun. Ning Ning's back. Did your second uncle agree to their relationship? Mrs. Qin asked curiously. I'm not sure. I haven't seen Ning Ning yet. I'll ask her when I see her. Okay. Drive slowly, Mian, Grandma said. Then, Hua Min drove out and called Su Yu to ask for their location. Heidileo. When Hua Min arrived, he saw the twins eating hot pot. The atmosphere was very good. Mommy's here. Waitress, please get my mommy a new set of tableware. Little Bean was very good at pleasing. Hua Min sat between the twins with a smile. Sis-in-law, I missed you so much. Qin Ning stood up and gave Hua Min a big hug. Sis-in-law, I haven't seen you in a few days. You've gotten prettier, Tang Chuan said with a smile. Don't talk nonsense. I know what I look like. Ever since I was a kid, the word pretty has nothing to do with me. Hua Min laughed. Yeah. Uncle Tang told you to flatter him and now you're flattering him. Ha! Shame on you, Little Bean mocked Tang Chuan. You flatter me. When it comes to flattering, no one can beat you. Little Bean, you're the real flatterer. Little Bean was speechless. Uncle Tang, you're telling the truth again, Little Bean added. Auntie, look. They're teaming up to bully me, Little Bean complained. You're arguing with a kid. Don't you think it's embarrassing? Qin Ning scolded. Honey, you're right. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning with love in his eyes. You're already calling her honey. Looks like the two of you have been developing very quickly recently. Did you do a lot of things that are not suitable for children? Little Bean's mind started to become dirty. Don't talk nonsense. I'm not that kind of person, Qin Ning said awkwardly. Where's Qin Chu? Why didn't he come with you? Su Yu looked at Hua Min. He just got off work. He still has a lot of work to do. Do you really have work to do? Or do you want to meet someone else? Su seemed to be implying something. Lord Su, what do you mean? Is it true that my wife's brother cheated on her? Tang Chuan continued to gossip. Get lost. My brother isn't that kind of person. Qi Ning immediately defended her brother. I don't think Daddy is that kind of person either. Handsome Su, you can't spread rumors. Be careful or I'll get angry with you, Little Bean said with a pout. I'm not spreading rumors. I really feel like something's wrong. Qin Chu and Zhang Manlin. Su Yu was just about to defend Huamin when Little Bean interrupted him. Su Yu, don't talk about this in front of the kids. Huamin immediately stopped him. Su Yu immediately understood what she meant and nodded. Qi Ning was anxious and wanted to ask more questions. But after hearing her sister-in-law's words, she didn't dare to. She could only suppress her curiosity and plan to talk to her brother alone when they got home. She didn't believe that her brother would give up the woman he loved for years and cheat on her so easily. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. On the beach of an island in Indonesia, Lu Yen lay on a bench and sipped fruit juice leisurely. Yen, is it really okay for us to hang out under Ian's nose all day? Xiao Fei felt like this was too exciting. Knowing that Ian was in Indonesia most of the time, Lu Yen came here directly from Pakistan and had a lot of fun. You're tuning in to the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.